Did you know Medicare plans change from one year to the next? And this year, it's important for you to review your current prescription drug and health coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money. And don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Compare plans now at Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
We've lost touch with where our food comes from. Today, over 85% of grass-fed beef sold in America is imported, hurting our farmers and leaving families disconnected from the source of their food. We started Good Ranchers to make a difference. We partner with local American farms and ranches to deliver 100% American beef, chicken, pork, and wild-caught seafood straight to your door. Visit GoodRanchers.com and use code RANCH40 to get $40 off your first order, plus free meat for an entire year. GoodRanchers.com, American meat delivered.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together, we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission: to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/clayandbuck and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/clayandbuck.
Attention extra listeners. The end of the year is closing in. Are your retirement plans ready? We at Master Plan Retirement Consultants are holistic retirement planners, including income and growth planning, tax strategies, and estate and legacy planning. Each piece of the retirement puzzle must fit together cohesively because we know a change in one area can inevitably affect the others. Our boutique team serves you with fiduciary care, ensuring every step moves you closer to a confident, sustainable retirement. Don't wait. There's still time to adjust your plan before year end. Schedule your complimentary consultation now at masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
Mass layoffs are blocked for now. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A federal judge in San Francisco just issuing an emergency order for the Trump administration to stop firing workers during the government shutdown. The judge calling it a human cost that cannot be tolerated and accusing the administration of not thinking through its decisions. House Speaker Mike Johnson just telling Fox he expects an appeal.
The White House is dug in. They will do what is required of them, and that is to triage federal spending because Chuck Schumer and the Democrats decided to turn it off.
He says the government has to reopen before talks Democrats want on health care issues can happen. But House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries blames Republicans for not negotiating now.
We are ready, we are willing, and we are able to negotiate a bipartisan spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people.
A short-term spending plan that already passed the House, just failing for a 9th time in the Senate. President Trump just signing a memo directing the War Secretary to use funds available to ensure active duty military personnel get paid. An emergency landing for the Pentagon chief. A Pentagon spokesman just confirming Secretary of War Pete Hegseth's plane had a crack in the windshield and had to make an unscheduled landing in the UK as he was heading back to the U.S. from a NATO defense ministers meeting. The statement says the plane landed based on standard procedures and that everyone on board is safe. Secretary Hegseth just posting all good, thank God, continue mission. The Israeli military just confirming another transfer of hostage bodies from Gaza as the pace of those returns and Hamas violence continue to test a fragile ceasefire.
Hamas gunmen have been summarily executing Palestinians in public squares who they line up and shoot, accusing them of being collaborators with Israel and then releasing the videos to the public without any international security force in place, armed Hamas fighters are filling the vacuum.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin in Tel Aviv. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medi-Share. That's right,
of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medi-Share and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless. And that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems. And let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in, and it's just what you need, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medi-Share and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, can save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medi-Share. It's so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 866-89-BIBLE. That's 866-89-BIBLE. 866-89-BIBLE.
I'm going to start over. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis. There he is, sidekick, producer, sports raconteur extraordinaire, the mechanical mangler at the controls. It's Flounder and it's hump day, and I want to go back to bed or something. Yeah, I can hear now, though. Had a little mishap thing going on. What a brutal morning to start. Anyway, how y'all? Let me put this over here a little bit for the... Yeah, it's a little something here. How's your... Oh, today's... I just killed it. What the hell? I touched the computer and it died. It just went black. Let me try it. I'm gonna hit that. See if that does anything. I swear to God, I didn't. I just moved it.
All right, stop touching it.
Anyway, God.
How many times has he heard that?
Oh, jeez, yeah, that's... Oh, my God. What a day. Anyway, I just got here at the studio a few minutes ago, which is fine because I had a little episode of a thing with my hearing stuff and deafness, and it was horrible. Anyway, all right, we'll start. I don't know what happened. I swear to God, I did this, and it just disappeared. Yep. Now, ViewSonic.
You just got to wiggle it.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. So, thank you, Flounder. He came in to wiggle it.
How you touch
he
it.
Came in. Well, that's what when it wiggles, you're supposed to. Well, no, I guess I got that backwards. By the way, we're going to start off today with a story, a comment, and a cultural fixation on what's going on in America these days involving actual guys who feel like being guys again.
Yep.
And I think I probably have been leading the way in this, actually. People have been mocking me for a long time, but I think more I think about it, I think I have been on the forefront of not apologizing for looking at pretty girls or saying, hey, baby, or stuff like that. In fact, I have girls in this bullpen right here who love the fact that I treat them like women and with respect, but also know that they're they're girls and I'm not, and that's what the world's involved with. So anyway, yes,
you may have crossed the line a few times.
It's possible. It's possible.
There's a fine line between gazing and leering.
No, it's not a fine line anymore. It moves.
It's a coarse line.
Anyway, God, what a start to a day. I'm so sorry. And luckily, I had everything kind of done by 9:30 this morning, whatever. But then all of a sudden, it's bad. It's a long story. Anyway, Pete Davis, what's new in the mountains of Macon? So you got your Aurora Borealis behind you there, or something? It looks like.
What? What did you say?
Very funny. Yeah, no, I'm the one who couldn't hear. I went deaf, stone deaf. I mean, honestly, it scared the crap out of me. Anyway, I'm sorry.
What was it?
My plugged up ears. I mean, it was just, I thought my hearing aids, when my ear rockets went bad. So I went to the hearing aid place. And they tested me and said, no, they're picking. I said, oh, my God. So then they said, she said, well, you need to, I don't want to spend the whole time. I'll talk about it later. Anyway, anything new in the mountains of Macon? I'm fine. I said, I'm okay. So, yes.
Absolutely gorgeous day up here. Just beautiful.
It's gotten back to, it's in the 80s again. We're back into the summer-like weather, late summer, Indian summer kind of deal, which is typical in October. That's what they call Indian summer. Now, is that offensive? Now, I'm not going to stop saying that either. That can't be offensive. That's a phrase been used for 100 years.
It's a Joe Walsh song.
Yeah. Yeah, give me a break. Anyway, Flounder and Mrs. Flounder, Veronica, what's new in
24? All is well on our front. That's normal.
Excellent. Well, anyway, here's our number, and we got a million things to talk about, and we shall begin with them shortly. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. And I just hear on the news another San Francisco judge said Donald Trump has to stop getting rid of people who need to be gotten rid of. It's an incredible. I mean, how's he supposed to deal with every single thing that Donald Trump does? They go to court and they block him, and here we go. I'm telling you. I mean, it's just one. I honestly, I would take a hostage. I don't know how he does it. I would go absolutely crazy if every second for the last 12 years, basically, that he's been, affected and blocked. It's just an incredible story.
Well, the next time the Democrats, hopefully never happen, but if they get back in power, I want every single utterance go through the courts.
Absolutely. Everything they do.
Shut this bugger down.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, people say, oh, well, that's retribution. No, that's justice. And it is retribution. Hey, by the way, what's wrong with that? If you punch me in the face, what, you think I'm just going to suck it up and take it? I believe there will be retribution, which is also called a quality of a sliminess. So if you screw with them, you screw with Trump all the time, then he's got a right to screw with you when he gets in power again, like he's doing now. These freaking people. And Hakeem Jeffries, that freaking slimy little racist. God, all these people. Liars and cheats and thieves, and they're just ruined. They're teaching their children not to hate America from the very beginning, which you mentioned horrible. Okay, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. A couple of things I put on Facebook. Just coming in today, and again, I was late because of stuff, and which I hate because I've got, I feel like I can't catch up. Anyway, but that's my personality because I'm a freaking goof. Driving in through the golf course area, which I do to try to relax before I come in after working several hours at home. I keyed up and I like to relax before I come into the actual studio. And so I go through the golf course area and 20 miles an hour and everything's fine. And I'm driving along and all of a sudden ahead of me is this young child on one of those freaking electric skateboards. Those little teeny little wheels on the little teeny little bar, and you stand on it sideways, and the damn things go 30 miles an hour. And I'm watching this kid, Valentina, my videographer, rides in the car, and she got some video, and I'm thinking to myself, I would no more do that than the man in the moon. I mean, I don't know how they. I don't know how they keep your balance on those little teeny little wheels going 25 or 30 miles an hour. I mean, it just looks like an accident waiting to happen. Anyway, there's video. I just put that on YouTube and Facebook. Oh, by the way, Flounder, are the people? Should I even keep putting my videos on camera on the YouTube page, or is there nobody watching that anymore? Is that dead now?
Oh no, you get lots of views on YouTube.
Okay. Well, I'll keep feeding my horse videos on YouTube as well as my. Okay,
absolutely.
Because I didn't know whether they were shutting it down, or I'm not going to bother.
Not at all. No. You still get views on YouTube.
Okay. Again, I don't even know how to. They won't let me on YouTube. Every time I try to see videos, it just goes to some blank screen, and I don't know how to get onto my own.
Well, again,
YouTube page.
You get more comments and everything on your personal Facebook page. So at the end of the day, if that's what you like doing, just doing that. Just do that. Because again, we set up the Kimmer Show YouTube page originally for the podcast.
Right. Well, again, so I don't know whether anybody gives a damn about my horse videos. If they don't care on YouTube, I'll stop sending them on YouTube.
Stop sending them for a couple days, and I'll probably get an email or something like that saying, "Hey, why did he?"
Okay.
Stop doing that? So I'll let you know.
Yeah, I just do it. I go to the stable on the weekends, only Saturday and Sunday, and then during the week I feed a little bit. Okay, I just didn't do it. Okay, sorry. 3:10.
That's it, folks.
I'm done.
Good night, everybody.
Anyway, Giver, Pete, and Flounder, how you doing? Good grief! We got a lot of personal relationship stuff, and there's been an awful lot of things popping up on the news about personalities from Hollywood and celebrities and so forth. John Rocker's back on the news again today, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And the woman he was texting sexy stuff with for a while. And then, by the way, did you see his wife Cheryl Hines, the actress, who was interviewed on The View, and they treated her like crap. They attacked her and set her up to try to belittle her and offend her.
And she put them in their place.
Yeah, but again, why even bother? Why would anybody even go on that show? They're just vicious and hate-filled and liars, and they're setting you up to try to embarrass. I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah,
horrible.
They thought they were being cute. They said, well, your husband, RFK Jr., he's not a doctor, and he's the head of Health and Human Services.
Yeah.
And Cheryl Hines goes, 80% of all the HHS secretaries have not been doctors.
Right.
In fact, President Obama's was an economist.
Yeah. Again, the cackling, vicious, hate-filled bitchiness of that program is just appalling. I mean, and that girl who made the bet saying if Donald Trump gets the hostage back home, she hasn't worn the hat, has she? She'll never wear the hat.
No, of course not. They're liars.
You know, the thing of the matter is she should, well, again, she actually now has an opportunity to do something in a way that if she was clever enough to do it in a certain way, it would be a hit for them and her and that show. And they can't figure it out because they're so filled with freaking hate that they can't even think about this is television. It isn't real. You're actors. You're on performing to entertain people. This isn't life. So you can do what I mean, it's unbelievable. You're acting and performing, so do the acting and performing that would be effective. No, they'd have too much hate. Who wants a show with hate? It's just all hate.
Now I'd be happy if someone just walked on the set and jammed it on her head.
I know. Here, take this and run. Slam it down over her freaking ears. Anyway, be a little aggressive. Oh, Lordy. Anyway, the male gaze is back. I mean, this is hysterical. There's a whole big article
Gay
now.
men are back. What?
Yeah, no. I say the male gaze is Gaze. Looking at girls. Hell, remember the song "Girl Watchers"? I'm a girl watcher. It was a #1 hit song, and it was also a TV commercial ad. Don't you remember that song? I'm a girl watcher. I'm a girl watcher. It was used for a TV ad. And it was a #1 hit. Watching those girls go by. Remember that song? Maybe not. It was a huge hit.
CNN now thinks it's akin to cancer, and
we're all going to
basically rape.
We're going to ruin the culture. All right, we'll tell. That's coming. That's kind of our lead story. We also have more. I don't know. People getting fired and not fired, and I mean some weird stuff, and a lot of personality stuff, and we got it all. And your calls to 404-741-1230 if you'd like to join us with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's hump day, and all is right. Everything's going to be fine. It's a beautiful sunny day, and what the heck, baseball. We got playoffs, and I'm going to change my pick to the Dodgers now. I decided that I'm going to.
Mr. Bandwagon.
Well, no, I just figured.
Playoffs?
Actually, when you asked me who I had money on or who I was going to bet on, I forgot who Milwaukee was playing. So the only one team I can remember was in the playoffs. I forgot Dodgers were in the playoffs. That's the only name I can remember was Milwaukee. Yeah, duh. I'm doing great. Thanks. 314. Look out. Oh, man.
President Trump is restoring freedom, bringing justice back to America, and restoring power to the people. And the conservative voice of Atlanta has his back and will always bring you the national and local voices you need when it matters most. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
The right partner makes all the difference. For more than 185 years, we've forged personal relationships with our customers and communities, funding economic development and rallying around the causes that are important to our neighbors. With the technology, products, and expertise you'd expect from a big bank and the local decision-making and commitment to community from your neighborhood bank, United Bankshares is your trusted financial partner for life. Learn more at bankwithunited.com. United Bankshares, member FDIC.
While fall temperatures are cooling down, the action in the stadium and on the field is really heating up. If you find yourself in hot water from too much celebrating during the game, it's important to know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds. We handle bonds for those in the Bends to those who celebrate action between the hedges. At A Second Chance, we can have you or your loved one out of jail in a matter of hours. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT. Or online at atlbail.com.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Exmark. It's time to turn your work into fun with Exmark mowers this fall from Howard Brothers. Exmarks are built for speed, precision, and durability, making every cut cleaner, every job faster, and have fun doing it. Whether you're mowing lawns or cleaning up leaves, homeowner or pro, Exmark helps you stay ahead of the work, giving you more time to enjoy the cooler season. So gear up and save time with the mowers the pros trust. Find your Exmark at Howard Brothers today. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Exmark and Howard Brothers.
Hey, it's Dan Watkins from All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors and Windows. When I started advertising on Extra many years ago, I didn't know it would completely change my business, but it did. Radio advertising on Extra 106.3 made my phones ring, built my brand, and helped turn a small local company into one of Atlanta's biggest success stories. And your story could start the same way at the Fan and Extra Small Business Casino Night, Thursday, November 20th. With your table sponsorship, you'll get mentions in all event promotions, a commercial schedule, chips to play, and a chance to win marketing prizes, including a $50,000 influencer campaign. They've already given away over $1 million in free advertising at this event, and this year, everyone wins something. So come join the party, eat, drink, play, and maybe kickstart your own Atlanta success story. Email biz@680thefan.com. That's BIZ at 680thefan.com. And I'll see you at Casino Night, November 20th.
Stinking. I tell you, these freaking stupid. I'm never buying these again. These dirty, rotten, stinking. What is this? Starbucks. I started buying these little coffee bottle things, you know, for my drinks at work here. I usually eat sweet tea, and now I started buying these stupid things. They're leaking all over my freaking bag. The tops don't work. Remember yesterday? I spilled it all over me. Well, it's happening again. What the hell, you know? You have like $4 a freaking bottle for this piece of crap, and they don't have a freaking top that freaking works, freaking? Sorry, not really a happy place right now. I thought it was going deaf, I tell you. Oh, sorry. Spent 4 hours running around trying to get ear stuff done. Oh, well, we have appointments later on this afternoon. Well, that's not going to work. Oh, well, go across the street. Yeah, I'll do that. Sorry. No, it's good. Everything's fine. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be grouchy. I'll no longer be grouchy. I'll be fine and happy. And totally unprepared to do the actual program. Okay. On this day in 2014, U2, the frontman Bono, said he was sorry after their latest album was automatically added to the libraries of all iTunes users all over the world. Bono said the move was a drop of megalomania, a touch of generosity. iTunes users complained that the 11-track Songs of Innocence had been added to their music library without permission, and that it was not clear how to delete it. So is that a thing, I guess? I mean, is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Is it? And so, in other words, are these people who don't like U2 and it's wasting their space, or why would they complain about having free stuff? I don't understand.
A, they like to bitch about anything, and B, they probably didn't like the band, and C, they should have asked permission before they did it, even though they tried to do a nice thing. Yeah. It does take up some space. I don't know how much.
Well, again, I don't. This is like automatic stuff. I don't know anything about.
I still have it on mine, even though the songs aren't that great.
Yeah. You know? Now this is iTunes we're talking, right? Because I have iTunes, or is that an app? Is that an app you have to get? Well, I don't even know where you get it.
If you have an Apple, you've got iTunes. Now, whether you pay for all of it,
I don't know. I don't know that stuff. No. All right. Let's see. Let's go way back into music here. I'll bet Flounder, I bet you've never heard the name, music name of the singer named Barry McGuire. You ever heard the name Barry?
I have not.
Pete Davis, do you remember Barry McGuire? Remember the title of the song? Eve of Destruction. Well, that was Sergeant. Was that the same Barry McGuire? No, that was Sergeant. No, that was Sergeant. What's his name? Who sang the Ballad of the Green Berets? Barry McGuire sang "Eve of Destruction" in 1965. Huge song back in the middle '60s. It was beginning of kind of the hippie time, and people were worried about the end of the world and the Russian Cold War stuff was now kind of the Cuban Missile Crisis and everything. And the song was "Eve of Destruction," and it was about the possibility of badness for the world. Anyway, that was a big hit back in 1965. Barry McGuire's 90 freaking years old. It's unbelievable. I also put on the Facebook page and on the Kimmer Show YouTube page, or the Kimmer Show Sorry, I'm really finagled here today. I'll get out of it. I swear to God. I put a picture, a video of a portrait of my dog Heidi, who was a German Shepherd when I was a young boy. And Heidi was the great granddaughter of the original Rin Tin Tin, who was a TV movie star dog in a show about the cavalry. And it was on the, and I did that as kind of a tease of what I'm talking about now on this day in history, on this day in 1954. The Adventures of Rin Tin Tin. Yo, Rinny! And the dog would come running to save everybody. Debuted on ABC, it starred Lee Aker as Rusty, the young boy, orphaned in an Indian raid. And by the way, how'd you like to have that for a start of a new series now? A young boy who was orphaned because the Indians killed his family, and his dog Rin Tin Tin were being raised by the soldiers at a U.S. cavalry post. American World War I soldier Lee Duncan rescued the original Rin Tin Tin from the battlefield. This was a true story, a real battlefield World War I dog. Went on to star in the Rin Tin Tin movies. Duncan, the soldier, had trained Rin Tin Tin, the fourth, to play the TV part, but he did poorly on screen tests and was replaced by a number of other dogs the trainer also owned, primarily a dog named Flame Jr., and the public never knew much of the difference, but it was originally Rin Tin Tin was an actual World War I dog, and I used to own his great-granddaughter, Heidi, who was a beautiful, beautiful dog. And a picture of her. My mother, actually, for my birthday one year, had a portrait done of my dog. And it's beautiful. Anyway, so that's a scoop. All right, 322, Kimmer, Peyton, Flounder. Mercy. All right, let's start this. Apparently, somebody over at CNN is having a conniption because men want to start feeling like men again. And now there's some commentaries about this topic, and it's about men looking at women and how this is going to be the further destruction of American society, apparently. This guy, the editor notes, it's been 2.5 months since America went to war with itself over a clothing company choosing to market its products to young women by putting their jeans on an objectively beautiful young woman. American Eagle, Sydney Sweeney. It still resonates with some people who are suffering PTSD over it, notably someone who writes for CNN. And now here's a CNN article, and I won't read every word of it because it's kind of long, but here's some excerpts from this article on CNN. As a child of the 90s and early 2000s, this person, obviously a girl, writes, I grew up with my mother's and grandmother's generation's fight for legal and workplace equality, helping shed social misogyny. I saw evidence of progress in the media diet. Positively entered the fashion world, stories about women stealing your man were traded for a celebration of the girl's girl who resisted the competition for men's attention. Whatever the catalyst, a change in the political environment seemed to connect with a social change that brought back narrow, constrictive ideas of womanhood. The rise of weight loss medications. Social media influencers are sharing ways to get smaller, no longer celebrating bodies of all sizes. Then came the advertising. Men's desire, a dominating factor, how stories are told and women are portrayed. Then the question, how had these discarded ideas made their way back into circulation? I thought we were done with those. The culprit is the male gaze. Gaze. The culprit is the male gaze, this chick writes. It was always there, but now it stepped back into the spotlight. It came roaring back this summer with American Eagle. A campaign in July, sexy ad jeans for women featuring Sydney Sweeney, many see as a sex symbol, insinuating the clothing would make men find more attractive. Anyway, just a little snotty little sniveler. If you're observing women in TVs and movies and social media and marketing, they don't feel as fully materialized as their male counterparts. That's the male gaze. And then an actual doctor, a professor, says the male gaze is about representing women in media solely to satisfy heterosexual men. If you're observing women in movies, TV, and so forth, and they don't seem as fully materialized, it's the male gaze. Photo illustrations include 5 men unlikely to gaze at the female model in the image, and they show these various people. If you've spent a couple of generations trying to deny human nature, you're trying and failing miserably. This person says, let's get it together. Don't be an idiot. You hope you could convince us all we don't actually desire that which we find desirable. It was a noble effort. You gave it your best shot, but you were going up against the mating habits of your entire species. It's like trying to convince a bird not to be attracted to the female with the most colorful plumage, or a baboon not to want to make babies with a female with the reddest. Oops, daisy. With the whatever. You could end that any way you want to. Appreciating Bishop Fulton Sheen was a celibate man of the cloth. This guy articulates, and even he talked about appreciating female beauty. Obviously, he says few people stand up to the standard set by Sydney Sweeney or models and so forth. They grew up in that day. But it's it's an impossible bar to reach, not to mention during the height of the maximum golden age of the swimsuit issue era. But you can't deny the impulses of every man and a huge percentage of women who like looking at beautiful women. You simply can't wish it away any more than you can make people not admire a beautiful landscape, a sunset, or the ocean. It's encoded the beauty in our DNA.
You like to look at beauty, and some of these women, like this writer CNN, want us to completely ignore absolute thousands, if not millions a year of human nature.
Yeah. I mean,
basically, there's nothing wrong with looking at something beautiful. Now, there's a problem if you're leering at it. There's a difference between admiring something and looking at something and then leering at something. There's a difference.
Well, not only that, especially if they're talking about social media things where people are deliberately acting, performing, showing something, posting things on purpose. The advertisements and TV ads and magazines and so forth are meant to show a particular thing. So you're supposed to admire it. That's why they showed it.
That's why they're doing it.
I mean, so how can you? Oh, I'm not looking at that. It's pretty. Oh, yeah, I mean, what are they talking about?
Most women want guys to look at them, not leer, but look at them. And most guys want to look at women. So why are we paying attention, and have for the past few years, to this small group of bitter cat ladies trying to tell us that what we like to do naturally is a bad thing? That men are bad.
This kind of came out of nowhere. Well, actually, after this, a couple of months ago with the Sydney Sweeney thing. But again, that just all of a sudden, something happened. Some spark ignited this little teeny little screaming segment of our society. And
let's hear from if there are women listeners who like to call up and tell us, do you like men looking at you and not looking at you? And where's the line about, okay, that's too much?
Well, for that, I mean, even just a simple thing. If you're going to the grocery store and you notice some guy kind of looks at you and then turns away or whatever, I do. I mean, but still, I mean, I'll bet you that particularly if you put on your makeup and by the way, why do women wear makeup and paint their nails? They don't do it for other women.
Well, they're painting their nails for other women, but the makeup's for guys.
Yeah, but again, still, I can't imagine that women are offended knowing that they look good. I think women all feel better if they think they look good. If they boy, I'm looking hot.
And most women, and you tell them, but they don't believe it, most women are better looking without the makeup.
I totally agree with that.
I tell my wife that every day.
Yeah. I mentioned a story yesterday about a woman. I made it out loud, and they couldn't.
That.
Yeah, they couldn't believe. I
definitely did.
The woman I told it to when I was working back on TV appreciated the hell out of it because she didn't want to be all made up and everything else. And I was just a guy. I didn't know her. We weren't close or anything like that. But I think she appreciated the fact that he was a TV anchor man saying, "No, you look so great without that makeup. You're really natural."
I think. And I've said this before, the Kardashians have screwed up 2 or 3 generations of young women, not only on the makeup and the over the makeup stuff, but the absolute putting themselves out there, showing their body as that's what they're supposed to be. That's their image. It's not who they are, what they've done. It's just what the stuff, the Botox and the crap that they're putting in their butts and their lips and everything, which is killing them. Yeah. It's just absolutely a horrible effect that the Kardashians have had on this whole society.
And I remember years ago there was, remember the rap song, I can't help it, I like big butts. I mean, that was kind of a funny thing.
I like big butts and I will not lie.
Yeah. But the Kardashian big butt started the whole new big butt era.
Well, that and her sex tape.
The sex tape started the Kardashians.
And the big butt.
But the big butt was, and all of a sudden now we've got all of a sudden all the people showing up on TV for award ceremonies are showing their biggest butt they can get.
Yeah. And to prove our point, because you and I both saw her and her sister in 1995 when they were teenagers, and how beautiful they were
stunning.
Before all the craziness with the plastic surgery.
Those two
There's
young,
no reason what they did.
Those two young daughters of Bruce Jenner were probably, maybe 13 and 11,
Jenner
10 and 9, something like that? Or?
Kim is Kardashian. She's not Bruce Jenner. And that was Kim that was there.
Oh, yeah.
You saw Kim.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and the two of them together, and they were like 12 and 10 or something, and they looked like stunning.
No, they were old. I think they were a little older than that.
Golly, but they were young
girls. It was the pre-Olympic thing. Yeah.
And it was stunning. I mean, they were just anyway. What a shame. Hold on, 3:30. Ladies, what do you think? 404-741-1230. And why it shouldn't even be an issue, but all of a sudden it is. And frankly, I think it's time we defended men being men again without being leery. But you shouldn't have to feel bad about
following them in grocery stores.
Well, now that's a whole different story. They're in public. They're not hiding. They went to the store. 3:31. They're out there. They did it on purpose.
Did you miss Neil Bortz?
I am shocked.
Don't worry. He's live anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Oh, that radio show.
Did traffic cause you to miss some of the Kimmer Show? Get it on the app.
It's all the kids talked about on Monday at school.
With anytime show replays from the Kimmer, Bortz, The Morning Extra, Clay and Buck, and so much more. Plus local headlines and breaking news. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Well, it sure feels like summertime again, but it's still planting season, fall or not, here in Georgia. And Stovall & Company, your third-generation wholesale landscaper supply companies, got it all. Builders, contractors, and don't forget, the seeds and flowers and plants and shrubs and trees and irrigation systems and sprinklers and the stuff. How about building a fireplace or an outdoor kitchen on the back porch or a deck or a swimming pool area, something like that? They'll take care of the stuff you need for that, too. And don't forget, Stovall & Company, 11 locations. Latest one they opened in Canton. If they don't have what you need, they can tell you where else to get it, even if they lose the sale. You'll love these guys. StovallInc.com.
As a kid, scoring a full candy bar on Halloween was like hitting the jackpot. This month, the Jim Ellis Buick
Down homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
As a kid, scoring a full-size candy bar on Halloween was like hitting the jackpot. This month, the Jim Ellis Buick GMC, get that same feeling with monster savings on a full-size truck. Hey, it's Chuck and Chernoff. Treat yourself to $11,250 off MSRP on in-stock 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 elevation models.
Plus an extra $3,000 with a qualifying trade. That's up to $14,250 in total savings. This truck is a beast. Strong, capable, and premium. Built for those who expect more.
Find your new Sierra Sierra and save at JimEllisBuickGMC.com or shop in person. Located on Peachtree Boulevard, just inside the perimeter, or off Highway 20 in Beaufort.
Jim Ellis, Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
2025 Sierra 1500 Elevation, example stock number GS4421, MSRP $68,034. After the $11,250 Jim Ellis discount, sale price is $56,784. $3,000 trade-in assisted discount available for owners of 2011 or newer models. Offer excludes TABT and state fees. Expires 10/31/25.
Go beyond just a baseball game with your Atlanta Braves and check out Truist Park's Ballpark Tour. See the ballpark like never before and explore the franchise's rich history with artifacts, exhibits, and more, led by tour guides who will take you to places behind the scenes that most fans have never seen before, including the press box, premium club spaces, and of course, step onto the field where your favorite Braves players battle it out during the season. And each tour comes with a complimentary player chain necklace. Visit Braves.com/tours to purchase your tickets today. And did you know Truist Park can host your next event? As a year-round facility, we host private events ranging from corporate meetings, trade shows, team building events, holiday parties, rehearsal dinners, you name it, Truist Park can host it. Visit Braves.com/events to get started on creating an experience like never before with one of Truist Park's unique venues. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The legend Neil Bort sees only on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
After World War II, the left needed a new way to demonize conservatives. Well, we had just defeated a horrible enemy, Adolf Hitler, and fascism. So that's what we'll do. We'll just accuse conservatives of being fascist. Everybody hates fascists.
Atlanta Talk Radio legends are only on Extra 106.3.
I guess I have to use the mouse thing to get off the stuff blocking my screen there. I tried to do it with my finger. It's messing me up there. So I can't use my phone, and I can't use the computer screen, so that's good. Hopeless. Here's Madonna. It was 2013. On this very day, Madonna was banned from an American cinema chain, a movie theater chain, after she was attending the New York Film Festival. It was the screening of the movie 12 Years a Slave. And somebody caught Madonna texting during the movie 12 Years a Slave. So the, at the time, 55-year-old Madonna was asked to stop by a member of the audience. And the CEO of the Alamo Drafthouse movie chain tweeted out, "Until she apologizes to movie fans, Madonna is banned from watching movies at Alamo." Jeez. Twit. 338, Carapine Flounder. Phone calls take priority. Here's Julie. Hello, Julie. Welcome to the radio program on your Happy Wednesday. How you doing? What's going on? What do you think?
Hey, Kimmer. I'm 68, and I'm no prize, but I do love it when men look at me and they help me with doors and things like that. But I think a lot of it is my smile.
Oh, really?
So if I smile at people, a smile just opens doors and makes people feel welcome. And
yes, it does. Yes, it really, really does. In fact, it changes everything. Think about if you're just walking down the sidewalk and you stop for a traffic light or something, and someone's walking by and they smile at you, you can't help but react to it.
The natural reaction is to smile back. So
yeah.
And that makes you so much. It's like a free facelift, too, when you do that.
Yeah. Now, and you mentioned, obviously, no matter what your age, I assume if you're going to be doing something while you're meeting other people or having an afternoon with the girls or the guy or whatever, doing anything, if you put on some makeup, I assume you feel better about yourself when you think you look better, when you're going out with public. True?
I do. Lipstick and some mascara, and then I'm probably good to go.
Yeah, just a little. But you feel good when people notice you, and I'm sure there were times when guys have said, "Gee, you look great," or "Don't you look pretty today?" or "I like that dress, you look pretty in that dress," something. I mean, that does that offend you? Did that ever? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They have said that, and I love it.
Yeah.
And my husband hates it, but I think he should enjoy it. So, it just makes my day. It really does, and I hope I make their day with a smile too.
Well, I'm sure you do, Julie. I'm very glad you called. Thank you, and have a pretty and a happy day.
And I want to say something too. Even when you're grouchy, you're so much fun.
Well, I can't.
No, he's not.
Well, that's wrong, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate it. You're very sweet. What a nice thing to say.
It's fun. The Daily Mail has a headline here. Kylie Jenner, which is one of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
A very beautiful young woman. Dating Timothy Chalamet, I believe, something like that.
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner flashes the flesh in an extreme cutout dress that has her fans asking, "Why do you reveal your body so much?"
Yeah. And in fact,
you're a billionaire. Why does she need to do that?
Is she the one that just came out, showed up as just in body paint? There was no clothing,
got this latex
just
thing
paint.
on right now. That's unbelievable.
I mean, something weird is going on. Flounder, we still have Joey on the phone, and maybe Rick also after that?
Yeah, we do. We got Joey first.
Joey, you're on the radio, man. Welcome. What do you think?
Hey, what's up, Timmer?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I was going to ask something to y'all's program from yesterday. I listened to y'all at night on the replay, so I'm kind of a day behind.
That's all right. A lot of people do that. Yep.
So y'all entertain me every night. So
thank you.
Y'all had played the 92 NLCS Braves and Pirates.
Yeah, Braves win.
Yes, every time I hear that, I'll even pull it up here at the house from time to time and play on YouTube. That's one of my favorite moments as a Braves fan.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And I know y'all probably already know this, but during that inning, I think while Francisco Cabrera was up, Andy Van Slyke motioned to Barry Bonds to slide to his left, and then if you win, you know the rest is history, because when Francisco Cabrera hit that single, Barry Bonds had to play it to his left. So luckily enough, Barry Bonds wasn't in that position where Andy Van Slyke wanted him to move to, because the outcome might have been different. Might have held him up at third, or he might have bobbled it or what. But
he waved him off. He waved Van Slyke off like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I think he actually either shot him a bird or something. I can't.
Yeah, he may have done.
I didn't know
Bonds,
that.
I think Barry Bonds took offense to it because Andy Van Slyke motioned him to play to his left, and I think from what I've read in the past that Barry Bonds flipped him off, and then once that inning ended, how it ended. You remember Andy Van Slyke was sitting out there in center field all in disgust with his knees up, like, just imagine what he was saying or thinking,
Yeah, what a way to end it,
But just wanted to add that to y'all. Like I said, I listen to y'all every night, and y'all are just the best on the air, and I just love listening to you guys. Y'all just keep it up, and I appreciate Flounder doing all the edits and stuff for not, all the
Flounder's way overworked around here. Flounder needs about a staff of 6 back there.
Appreciate the kind words, man. That's very nice.
Thank you, Joey.
Well, I do appreciate him for doing that, because I listen to y'all, like I said, at night, and I don't have time to skim through the commercials and stuff, so I do appreciate it. So thank you guys. I appreciate what y'all do.
You're very kind. Thank you so much. I think Rick still with a happy hump day. Rick, you're on the radio, man. What do you think?
Hey, Cameron.
Yes, sir.
First time, long time.
Well, thank you. Welcome.
Speaking of beautiful women,
yes, sir.
The Lord makes them every day.
Yes, he does.
But I had a gentleman tell me a long time ago, when one catches your eye, the first look's free. The second's by choice.
The first look is free. The second is by choice. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's correct. I'm not talking about what y'all said, leering. No, not leering, but just if it's beautiful, they're beautiful.
Well, it's not only that. It's just, sometimes it's just, I remember times when just driving along in the spring and all of a sudden you see women walking along starting to wear the little spring dresses, it's just happy and sweet and it's pretty and it's just lively and it reminds you, the tingle starts. It's just life. It's the thing, it's time for things like that. Those things are natural. They're in us. You can't deny them, and you certainly shouldn't belittle them. Anyway.
That's right.
Thanks,
all
right.
right. Enjoy the show.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You were suddenly channeling the late Ron Hudspeth in his annual spring column for the AJC about the girls walking down in their spring dresses on Peachtree Street.
I remember more than once when I was in when I was retired and I was in this little New England town and doing shopping stuff, and I came to a stoplight and there was this woman who was walking across the crosswalk, and it was a beautiful spring sunny day, just beginning to start getting warm, and she had on the prettiest little summer dress, like spring dress, little spaghetti strap, and she just was just waddling on, just happy and sweet, and I remember saying to her, I said, "Ma'am, I hope you don't take offense to this, but you look so pretty, you really ought to be on the cover of a magazine. I hope you have a great day," something like that. And she smiled and kept. It wasn't offensive in any way, but it was. I couldn't help it. It was just, she was such a lovely thing that made me feel like spring and life and a future with hope. You know what I mean? It was just a real thing. It was a real thing that I felt, and I can't deny things like that. It was real at that time, and I shared it with her, and I think she appreciated it, and it wasn't creepy in any way. And plus I was 60, so it wasn't like a big deal. Anyway, it's 3:45 already. I don't know where we're going.
I was waiting to see where you went with that.
I wasn't going any farther. No chicks.
How long this leash is going to play out?
No more. No chicks. It's done. I learned my lesson a long time ago. And so 3:46. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and we're there. Here we go. We're on the radio, so I hope you can join us. And how's everything going? Look out. Here we go. Oh, mercy.
Looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a third-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand sweet onions. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPsetc.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for True Prep. The weather's cooler, but the deals are getting hotter at True Prep's fall clearance sale. Take advantage of markdowns across every department, from firearms to prepping products, and save up to 66%. Don't wait, these deals won't last. And once they're gone, they're gone. Go to trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com and click the fall clearance sale banner at the top of the page to see all the items on sale. These deals are only good in store and while supplies last, so hurry into True Prep today.
Hey, Atlanta Braves fans, this is Kelly Kroll asking you to step up to the plate for the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedom. The Warrior Alliance, an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, is helping thousands of veterans to achieve success after military service. Either you or someone you know has served and deserves our support. The best way to say thank you for your service is by helping a veteran round the bases on their journey home. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Got a to-do list a mile long? No problem. We've got the ultimate solution, our Handyman for a Day program. Here's how it works. You get a skilled handyman dedicated to knocking out your honey-do list. Paint touch-ups, drywall repairs, door adjustments, and much more, all done in one day. Call us now before the rush for your Handyman for a Day and call us at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. One call, one handyman, one day, The Trusted Toolbox.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. No, you better sit this one out. It's no way to live. So if pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help get you back to life on your terms. One where you say yes a lot more. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients does not just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, joints, or muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day to get your life back. Just go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF and see how you can say yes to more of everything you want.
Here we go now. Stand by. A lot of phone calls coming up next. First, little John Bon Jovi. 2008, John Bon Jovi was the latest musician to disapprove of the use of his songs by John McCain running for president. Bon Jovi's song, Who Says You Can't Go Home? I think we're playing that one here. I like this song. That was used during rallies by Sarah Palin, his vice presidential candidate. Foo Fighters, Hart, and Jackson Browne all said, McCain, stop using our tracks in your bid. Bon Jovi, in fact, threw a $30,000 a plate fundraising dinner for Barack Hussein Putty Tat at his New Jersey home there. But Who Says You Can't Go? That's a great song. Sounds like somebody else. Who does this sound like? Doesn't sound like John Bon Jovi. It sounds like somebody else. Can't think of who it is. Flounder, who does this sound like?
Bon Jovi?
Yeah. This
sounds like Bon Jovi.
No, this particular song. Doesn't it remind you of somebody else?
Yeah. John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Well, there you go. I obviously mistaken for the two. 352. Phone calls. Nikki, you're on the radio. Hi, Nikki. Welcome aboard. What's up? Hello, Nikki.
Hello.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Hi. Is this Nikki?
Oh, I didn't know you were talking to another caller.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
That's okay. Hi.
Okay.
Welcome. That's okay. What's up?
I wanted to kind of answer your question as best I could about the beautiful question.
Yes, please.
I wasn't even sure if I would answer it, but it's awkward because it depends on your self-confidence, your relationship with others, and then it blurs the line between beautiful and hotness, like physical attraction. So for beautiful, like, I love it when my husband calls me that. I'm not going to deny that. But he also says I'm beautiful in a burlap sack with and without makeup, and I tell him he has rose-colored glasses. So, but then, sometimes we dress up and sometimes we don't. And when he dresses up, I think, oh, wow, that's really hot, honey. But I also think he's beautiful in garage clothes, and he thinks the same of me. And in terms of, like, if other people, I guess I'm a little oblivious. I'm not looking around very much. Yeah. But my husband has told me sometimes when people are looking at me, I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And they might even say something. And to him, he says he's torn because on the one hand, he'll say, yeah, she's beautiful. But also, don't touch.
Yeah, stop looking at my wife. Yeah. Believe me, I've been through that for years. Yeah. Trust me. Yeah.
And he's probably listening at work right now and laughing about this. But yeah, I don't think it's a crime to think someone is beautiful or to think someone is hot. I think that's just leverage for somebody who's, quite frankly, jealous and has lowered their own standards for themselves, and they can't find themselves beautiful, and so they want to attack somebody else, and that's just sad. You see that with class warfare, and you see that with all sorts of illogical fights that people pick for no reason. Yeah. And I think other people are beautiful too. That's not a crime.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm sure your husband, if you're out at a party or something, and there were other people that even people you may know, good friends, and they look great, and your husband notices, boy, she looks great tonight or something. That's not offensive, but it's a natural reaction to you just feel better when you're experiencing that kind of feeling. I think that seems pretty normal to me, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a compliment. It's nice to look nice, and if somebody thinks you look nice, it's meant to be something nice to share. Yeah. Take it as a compliment. Don't be so offended by every single thing. Yeah. Don't look for a victim bag. That's ridiculous.
I like it. Nikki, thank you so much. And give your husband a big hug and have a great night tonight. I'm glad you called. And I hope he's doing good at work, too. Thank you, sweetie. 3:55. Helen, I think, is still there. Hello, Helen. How you doing? Welcome aboard. What's up?
Hello, Kimber. I just wanted you to know you seem to be leaving a major thing out in this whole discussion.
Okay.
Do y'all think we girls aren't looking back?
I'm sorry, say again? I missed part of that. What's that?
Do y'all think we girls aren't looking back?
No, well, nobody's looking back at me anymore. I've been for 30 years or something.
To see if you're following.
Time and tide are cruel. It's not so much the years, it's the mileage, at least in my case. But, sweetie, an actress, beauty is a tool for an actor or an actress. I mean, there's a reason why Chris Hemsworth has existed on steamed chicken and broccoli and human growth hormone for the last 15 years. And I mean, there's a reason that Sydney Sweeney and Kathy Bates are not offered the same roles. It's just simply part of your assets. And that poor little soul-shrivered whiner and whoever wrote this original article just can't deal. I mean, some of us have other, I'm quite sure as beautiful as the Jenner daughters are, they couldn't put together a sentence on page. So, we all have something to offer.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you got this pretty well handled yourself, Helen, so I think you're going to be fine and accept a compliment when it comes your way and feel good about it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, honey, it is decades and pounds ago since I was in that particular running. But, I mean, Lord, we all got something, right?
Yes, we do. Thank you, Helen. Thank you. Have a great afternoon. I still have Nick, I think, maybe available right before the show.
He may have hung up, but we got someone I'm checking on right now. So
all right. Well, we got a Flounders Funny we can do. You want to check them out and hold through the 2 minutes of the news or what? I'll wait and see what you want to do here.
We're getting a lot of dumb fights. I think the longer you're with somebody, the dumber the fights get. Like we got a fight the other day about whose mom could cook better. And it started fun. It was like, my mom, no, my mom. Then out of nowhere, she was like, your mom's enchiladas suck. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, that's her best dish, so why don't you take that back? She was like, well, they're not authentic. I was like, oh, you thought you're getting authentic enchiladas from a woman named Dory.
It's Mr. Mason James, and now we have Susan on. Hey, Susan, 2 minutes.
Hey, Susan, welcome aboard. Yes, ma'am, you're on the radio. What's up?
Hey, Kimmer, it's your Bible, babe.
Hey, baby. Yes, indeed. How you doing? Good to talk to you. What's up?
Good. I think a woman that needs to have makeup glommed on her face is there because her insides are not near as attractive.
Well, I think if maybe not, maybe the word isn't that their insides are not attractive, but maybe the insides are not confident in her feelings about herself aside from her looks. I don't know. It's but the bottom line is, so people shouldn't be blamed for a natural reaction to saying something is attractive, like the same thing with a sunset.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
We are designed by our Creator to notice beautiful things.
Yeah.
But a woman who's confident in herself, who knows who she is, that will always outshine anything she can paint on her face.
You are absolutely correct. And the other thing is too, and we've seen so much more. Well, not enough of this lately. Especially among women, they're not very happy anymore. It's hard to find women who are happy. They're just, I don't know. It just makes everything worse.
I totally agree, which is why I always suggest, if you want a quality person, especially a woman that's confident and happy, look in a quality place.
There you go. Well, thank you. I'm very glad you called. You spurred us on to happier things here. Coming up on 4 o'clock, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's Hump Day, and here we go. Stand by.
This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Extra app.
Two more bodies released by Hamas. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Israeli military says the Red Cross now has the remains of more hostages. That would leave 19 still in Gaza. A ceasefire is holding, but being tested as Hamas fighters publicly execute Palestinian civilians accused of collaborating with Israel. Fox's Jennifer Griffin in Tel Aviv.
I spoke to high-level sources in the region who tell me none of the Arab countries in the region have agreed to send security forces to disarm Hamas or provide peacekeeping. Canada and Pakistan are considering, but they will need a mandate from the UN Security Council and permission from their own parliaments.
Hamas disarming is part of the current peace plan. Fox's Martha McCallum asking New York City mayoral hopeful Zoran Mamdani, who's been critical of Israel and the war in Gaza, whether Hamas should now disarm and leave leadership in Gaza.
We have to ensure that there is peace, and that is the future that we have to fight for.
But you won't say that Hamas should lay down their arms and give up leadership in Gaza.
I don't really have opinions about the future of Hamas and Israel beyond the question of justice and safety and the fact that anything has to abide by international law. And that applies to Hamas, that applies to the Israeli military, applies to anyone you could ask me about.
Mamdani, a self-described democratic socialist, has a double-digit lead in polling over former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is running as an independent, and Republican candidate Curtis Sliwa. President Trump calls Mamdani a communist. Mamdani says he wants to build a partnership with Washington to make New York City more affordable. The president just announcing results of a crackdown on violent criminals known as Operation Summer Heat.
We were in many cities that people didn't know about. We kept it a little quiet, and it had a big impact.
Alongside the FBI chief in the Oval Office after a June to September surge with state and local partners making thousands of arrests. Another mixed finish on Wall Street, the Dow down 17 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medishare. That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medishare and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless, and that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems, and let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in, and it's just what you need. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medishare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, can save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medishare. It's so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 866-89-BIBLE. That's 866-89-BIBLE. 866-89-BIBLE.
All right, look out. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. We're going to go to the White House here in a second. First of all, 2007, Britney Spears had to go to the police station.
But first, we're going to talk about Britney Spears before we go to the White House.
Yeah, well, let's go to the White House. Let's go right to the White House. We'll come back later. Here's Donald Trump with
just since President Trump's been in office.
It's Pam Bondi.
Could there be any further conversation to have national concealed carry apply to actual D.C.? Like if you had a driver's license in Texas and you had a permit, of course you could drive.
Well, as you know, they've been talking about that for a long time. It's an interesting question. A lot of people feel strongly both ways, but we are talking about that, Brian. Thank you.
Mr. President, on Venezuelan votes, I want to ask you, why not have the Coast Guard stop them, which it is empowered by law to do? This way you can confirm who's on the boat and ensure that they're doing what you suspect.
Because we've been doing that for 30 years, and it has been totally ineffective. They have faster boats. Some of these boats are seriously, they're world-class speedboats, but they're not faster than missiles. But we've been trying to do that for years, and so much of the drugs, 25-30%, would come in through the seas. Right now we have, I would say, none coming in through the seas. In fact, I don't know about the fishing industry. If you want to go fishing, a lot of people aren't deciding to even go fishing. We've almost totally stopped it by sea. Now we'll stop it by land.
What's the next step?
But it never worked. It never worked when you did it in a very politically correct manner.
What's the next step in this war on cartels, and are you considering options? Are you considering strikes on land?
Well, I don't want to tell you exactly, but we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control. We've had a couple of days where there isn't a boat to be found, and that I view that as a good thing, not a bad thing. But we had tremendous amounts coming in by boats, by very expensive boats. They have a lot of money, very fast, very expensive boats that were pretty big. And the way you look at it is every boat that we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives. So every time you see a boat and you feel badly, you say, wow, that's rough. It is rough, but if you lose 3 people and save 25,000 people, these are people that are killing our population. Every boat is saving 25,000 lives, and you can see it. The boats get hit, and you see that fentanyl all over the ocean. It's like floating in bags. It's all over the place, and it's a tremendous. We're saving tremendous amounts of lives.
Mr. President, on that issue, I know you've talked about, I have a question for you, and then I also have a question for Director Patel. I know you talked about having some distaste for Boston recently. Is this one of those cities that you might be looking into? Can you give us a hint about other cities that you might be?
You're saying for where? For where?
For Boston.
Yeah, well, Boston has a bad mayor who at least is a reasonable IQ person. Most of them are low IQ, but and they're so bad. What's going on in Chicago is just, you'd think the guy would say, hey, look, we have a problem, Mr. President. Could you come in and straighten it out? We could have that done in a month if we had their cooperation. It's going to be done anyway, but we could have it done in a month. Yeah, Boston, she's got 4 areas that are, wrong. And, somebody said, would we think about taking the World Cup away from Boston if they don't straighten it out? And the answer is yes, we have the right to do that with FIFA. So if we think that LA is going to be bad, or we think that applies a little bit to the Olympics too, but we'll talk about FIFA first. FIFA is very hot. If we think there's any reason that, whether it's Boston or anywhere else, that they're not doing their job, we're going to take those World Cup games and move them someplace else.
Thank you. And then Director Patel, there's been so many conspiracy theories swirling around about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Do you have any updates for us, especially in light of all the online content that everyone's been talking about?
The only thing we deal with at the FBI and the Department of Justice is facts. And we delivered in record speed a manhunt to capture Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin in 33 hours. And if you put that in perspective to Luigi Mangione or the Boston bomber, they took them 5 days and a police officer lost their life in their manhunt. We are running on absolutely every single lead, and the best thing we can do to honor my friend Charlie Kirk's life is to make sure that everyone involved is prosecuted to the full extent of the law, and that's what we're focused on, investigating the facts, not trading in conspiracy theories.
Okay.
Mr. President, thank you so much.
Thank you.
In light of China's export curbs on rare earths, do you view India as a reliable partner going forward? And are you planning to meet Prime Minister Modi in Malaysia? Are you open to talks in terms of
Yeah, sure. He's a friend of mine. We have a great relationship. He just said that 2 days ago, as you know. We have a great relationship. No, we were not happy with him buying oil from Russia. because that lets Russia continue on with this ridiculous war where they've lost 1.5 million people, by the way. Russia's lost 1.5 million people, soldiers mostly. This is a war that should have never started, but it's a war that Russia should have won in the first week, and they're going into the 4th year. And I want to see it stop. So I was not happy that India was buying oil. And he assured me today that they will not be buying oil from Russia. That's a big stop. Now I got to get China to do the same thing. You know, that is relatively easy compared to what we just did over the last week in the Middle East. Middle East was 3,000 years, and we got it done. This is 3 years. And I think we'll get it done. I think that President Putin, I think he wants to get it done. We'll see. There's a great animosity between him and Zelensky. You probably have noticed, right? And it's, I think it's hurting the process. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, thank you. Curious, why did you authorize the CIA to go into Venezuela? And is there more information you can share about these strikes on the alleged?
Well, I can't do that, but I authorized for 2 reasons, really. Number one, they have emptied their prisons into the United States of America. They came in through the they came in through the border. They came in because we had an open border policy. And as soon as I heard that, I said, a lot of these countries, they're not the only country, but they're the worst abuser. And they've entered they've allowed thousands and thousands of prisoners, mental institution, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, emptied out into the United States. We're bringing them back. But that's a really bad, and they did it at a level that probably not, many countries have done it, but not like Venezuela. They were down and dirty. And the other thing are drugs. We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela. And a lot of the Venezuelan drugs come in through the sea, so you get to see that. But we're going to stop them by land also.
Does the CIA have authority to take out Maduro?
Oh, I don't want to answer a question like that. That's a ridiculous question for me to be given. Not really a ridiculous question, but wouldn't it be a ridiculous question for me to answer? But I think Venezuela's feeling heat, but I think a lot of other countries are feeling heat too. We're not going to let this country, our country, be ruined because other people want to drop, as you say, their worst. They have given us their worst. They've loaded up our country with prisoners, with mentally ill people that are seriously ill, criminally ill. And we're not going to take it. And so, I mean, it's just one of those things. And I can tell you, we've taken care of the sea. There's nobody, and we're watching. We're watching. And if we see it, we'll save it. Yeah, please.
On the ships, though, sir, there are Republicans and Democrats up on the Hill concerned that in the briefings they've gotten about those attacks, they're not necessarily getting information about who was on them and what exactly was on those ships. Can you ensure that?
But they are given information that they were loaded up with drugs, and that's the thing that matters. When they're loaded up with drugs, they're fair game. And every one of those ships they're not ships, they're boats, they're speedboats. They're extremely fast, record-setting type speedboats. They cost a lot of money, and they have a lot of money because they're drug sellers. But they know one thing, and they all have the same thing in common. There's drug dust. They call it drug dust. They call it fentanyl dust all over the boat after those bombs go off, and you can take along.
Attack them though that they're.
We know before. We know when they go out. We know we have much information about each boat that goes out. Deep, strong information. Yeah, please.
Sir, you're going to have Vladimir Zelensky here this week. What is your message at this stage of the war for him? And shy of tomahawks.
To who is that?
For Zelensky. Yeah. And shy of tomahawks for Ukraine. Are you considering other options, and will you speak with Vladimir Putin about
No, we're looking at other options. We are. President Zelensky's coming in. I'm not a fan of the war. I'm not a fan of the way it started. It should have never happened. It wouldn't have started if I were president. The election was rigged. And because of that, we lost a lot of lives have been lost because of that war. Not American lives, but if I can save a lot of lives, that's why I'm in it. I want to save lives. I've had 8 wars. The Prime Minister of Pakistan got up the other day, said so beautifully, says, you saved millions of lives. He told that to a group of people right in this office. He said the president saved millions of lives. And I think what he's referring to is the fact that would have been with India, a nuclear war. That was getting very close. 7 planes, they don't talk about it, but 7 aircraft were shot down. In fact, we have the new ambassador to India right here. They're well represented. You better represent us, not them, okay? But Sergio's going to do a great job. He's going to do a great job. But no, we'll be talking about the war with him, and we'll be talking about, I mean, they want to go offensive. I'll make a determination on that, but they would like to go offensive, you know that, and we'll have to make a determination.
Given you have the FBI Director and Attorney General here today, Jim Jordan has asked Jack Smith to appear in front of the House Judiciary.
You mean deranged, Jack? He's a deranged individual, yeah?
He's asked him to...
Well, they should. I'm surprised it takes so long. You know, we're talking about violent crime. What about the crime against a political opponent? That's what we have to talk about, too.
Jordan would like to understand the full extent to which the Biden-Harris Justice Department weaponized federal law enforcement. What do you think the committee will find out, Mr. Smith?
I think it was the worst weaponization of a political opponent in the history of the world, let alone this country.
True.
And I hope that everybody's, you know, they're involved in it. I'm not. I'm the one that had to suffer through it and ultimately win. But what they did was criminal. Deranged Jack Smith, in my opinion, is a criminal. And I noticed his interviewer was, I think that was Weissman. And I hope they're going to look into Weissman, too. Yeah. Weissman's a bad guy. And he had somebody in Lisa, who was his puppet, worked in the office really as the top person. And I think that she should be looked at very strongly. There was tremendous criminal activity having to do. If we don't have fair elections in this country, we're not going to have a country. And I've said it from the beginning, fair elections and borders. And we need also fair press. Because if you don't have fair press, it's very tough. And we've got the strongest border of anybody. Nobody has a border. We have a border where the numbers just came out again. You saw 0 people came in illegally. Now, we do take people into our country legally, but 0 people. But, you know, you're talking about a different subject. You're talking about political crime. They have committed massive political crime. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people. And I'm allowed to find out. I'm allowed to, you know, I'm, in theory, the chief law enforcement officer. But I have a very good, talented group. This is about something else. But I hope they're looking at political crime, because there's never been so much political crime against a political opponent as what I had to go through. They raided my house in Florida. It was an illegal raid. I have a lawsuit that was doing very well, and when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know, how do you settle the lawsuit? I'll say, give me X dollars, right? And I don't know what to do with the lawsuit. It's a great lawsuit, and now I won. It sort of looks bad. I'm suing myself, right? So I don't know, but that was a lawsuit that was very strong, very powerful. They raided illegally my house in Florida, Mar-a-Lago.
No need
They went through
They knew where everything was.
The drawers of my young son. They went through all of the cabinets and drawers of the First Lady. She walked in, she said, wow, what happened? Because she's very meticulous, and this wasn't so meticulous. As she looked into the drawers and she saw everything a mess. It's what they did against a person that just got out of office. And then you look at these corrupt people. You look at Hunter Biden. You look at the signature. As an example, the auto pen. I just signed so many different things. An admiral, a 4-star general. I'm signing them left and right, the commissions. And by the way, I want to compliment John Thune and also Mike, our great speaker. But John Thune, all of a sudden I'm getting these things by the hundreds. I was getting one every 2 weeks. It would have been 4 years before you got them in more. So you would have had some that didn't even get in, all because of Democrat obstruction. So John Thune did a great job. I must have signed 200 into the administration. We're just about caught up. It's amazing. And so compliments to John. He had to do some things that were very tough to do that he didn't want to do, but he was forced to do it by the Democrats. And as far as the shutdown's concerned, this is a Democrat Schumer shutdown. And he's trying to do it to get relevance back into the party because he's a loser. I've known him all his life. He's always been sort of a loser, but an intelligent one. But I think he's losing IQ points with time. I think that happens. I hope it hasn't happened with me. I know if it did, you guys will let me know about it very quickly.
Violent crimes, sir. Here in D.C., a judge has given the 2 teenagers that beat up ex-Doge staffer Big Balls probation.
It's incredible.
And no jail time. Is this justice?
Jeanine Pirro is doing a fantastic job, and she is beside herself because you have these radical left judges that they beat the hell out of this guy. And it was many people against this one guy who was really trying to protect his girlfriend. He didn't want his hooded over the door but they really beat him up badly. That just happened, right? Yes. Wow, that's terrible. I think the judge should be ashamed of himself. That's a big problem. They can do their job, and then they go into a court, and the people are protected by these. I don't know where they come from. Where do these people come from? Where do the judges come from? I want to compliment on behalf of Pam and Todd and all of us because, Cash, I think that Janine has done a fantastic job. And the case I heard was like flawless. It's a flawless case. They have them on tape. They have everything. And then a judge gives them a little probation.
Okay. Donald Trump at the White House, again, running the country live on radio and TV. 106.3, Cameron P. Flounder and President Trump, too. Look out.
It's time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast's premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
If ever there was a vivid example of left-wing, liberal, mindless dementia, it would be Mike Lukovich, Atlanta Journal-Constitution editorial cartoonist. Talk about lightweight. But my goodness, he's been around for decades. Unexplainable. Anyway, a cartoon he had on the 12th. The title is The Enemies Within, and it's a picture of Donald Trump. And in Donald Trump's hair, you have pictures of the enemies within, according to Mike Lukovich. Let me tell you who they are. RFK Jr., Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, the Vice President, Kristi Noem, Homeland Security, Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, Steve Miller, Presidential Advisor, John Roberts, Chief Supreme Court Justice, all of them labeled by Mike Lukovich as enemies, more particularly the enemies within. Of what? Well, the United States. Oh, wait, I forgot one. Vladimir Putin. He's in there, too. Now, left-wing violence has become a thing. Brain-dead liberals are saying that if they disagree with you, that gives them a legitimate reason to take violent actions against you. Look at all of the people that Mike Lukovich has put in the crosshairs with his The Enemies Within cartoon in the AJC. Guarantee you, if some conservative listed a bunch of liberal meatheads and called them enemies, you'd hear a lot more about it, as you should. Mike Lukovich needs to go away with the printed version of the AJC. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
You wouldn't buy a luxury car and throw on bargain tires, so why do that with your siding? I'm Megan with Southern Exteriors. We install James Hardy siding, and we install it right. And as an elite certified contractor, we follow every spec so your siding qualifies for Hardy's full 30-year warranty. For siding that looks amazing and lasts, call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. That's southernexteriors.co.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if your old windows have you boiling in the summer and freezing in the winter, you need the pros at Window Nation with installation precision and experience that are second to none. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
Yeah. Here we go. As I was saying, 422, Kimmer, Pete, and Philander. And Britney Spears was on the stage in 2007. Britney had to go to the police station in L.A. to be photographed and fingerprinted ahead of her hit-and-run court case. In 2007, Britney Spears was 25. She had to submit by judge's order after she was charged in 2007 for crashing into a parked car while she was driving without a license, and had to go to court for it. And by the way, I got a story about her, which is kind of freaky here in just 1 second. First of all, our birthday list includes Krista Berg. Remember the lady in red? Well, he was the guy behind that. Krista Berg is 77. He claims to now have healing hands that can reduce the pain of people with injuries. Krista Berg at 77 says he doesn't think he's special, though. He believes that we all have the power to heal, but he says he can really do it well. So, okie dokie. And on this day in history, it was on this day in 2002. While it's a common everyday occurrence today, according to Charles Arthur, who wrote a book called Digital Wars, it was on this day during an episode of the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer that Buffy's friend Willow asked her, quote, "Have you Googled her yet?" It was the first time that Google had been used as a verb. So anyway, kind of bizarre. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. 424, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. In fact, you know what? You want to go back to Donald Trump or not? Yeah, but what do you want to do? He's still talking.
What's he talking about?
I don't know. He's got that dweeby guy again about Hamas ceasefire.
No.
I don't know. Anyway,
he needs to pivot now. You've solved Middle East. That's fine.
Yeah.
Grocery prices are still too high. They've gone down a bit, but they're still too high. And that's the only thing the Democrats have on him that could hurt him in the election is the fact that the economy, because we saw what happened to George Bush the First. He did a great job in the Middle East, and he was out in 4 years because of the economy.
Yeah.
So
remember no new taxes? Remember when Bush said no new taxes, ran on that one too, and then all of a sudden everything went up with fees. They called them fees instead of taxes.
And it was the economy that, as Clinton said, it's the economy stupid. Carville and them, that's how he got elected.
Yeah.
Trump needs to do that to take the last weapon the Democrats have is the fact that some of the grocery stuff is still high.
Yeah, I agree with you. A quick thing on Britney Spears, Kevin Federline. And more of these stories are popping up in the news, making social media things and TV shows. And Kevin Federline has just now come out publicly saying that he's worried about his ex-wife, Britney Spears. He said, as a father, I'm terrified one day I might wake up to my son's going to have to deal with something unimaginable. His sons are 20 and 19. I've sounded the alarm. I truly feel somehow I wish their mom would get help. I'm not going into details to keep her personal life private, but it's 10 times worse than anything I've ever said in my book. He's kept his mouth shut for the sake of the kids, but he said, you have two sons right there in front of you who are trying to scream for a life with you. Brittany said he wants Brittany to be around for a long time, and my sons don't know the woman that I married. A Brittany rep says that's all nonsense. Everything's fine. She was paying Kevin Federline $20,000 a month for 17 years. At first, she was paying him $40,000 a month for child support till the kid hit 18. And Kevin Federline says in his memoir that he fears that Britney Spears is racing towards something irreversible. The clock is ticking close to the 11th hour. Something's going to happen. He says Britney Spears used to watch their sons sleep with a knife in her hand. And that she's pretty messed up. And it's worse than anything he's ever noticed or mentioned before. And he's scared for her. So I don't know what the score is on that. 426. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. And, here we go. We mentioned a little while ago how Cheryl Hines, the actress, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s wife, was on The View, and they just ripped her. They just treated her like crap, and she stood up for herself, thank God. But, I mean, it was a setup. It was deliberately a setup. And remember, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Elon Musk were two of the biggest Democrat heroes in America for years and years and years, always have been. And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump comes along, and they do things on behalf of trying to save the country and save billions of trillions of dollars in waste, and all of a sudden now they're bad guys. And so The View turned on Cheryl Hines, who's just an actress. I mean, she's somebody's wife. She's a guy's wife and an actress, but it's not like she's supposed to answer for, a public policy for America, stuff like that. Anyway, they just sandbagged her, stabbed her in the freaking back. And now another update on a scandal that I'm really not quite sure what the full scandal is, other than the guy was being, kind of snotty concerning the fact he was married and she was engaged. But You may remember the story. A 32-year-old Vanity Fair editor named Olivia Newsy was having a texting with sexy things affair with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He was 71, she's 32. She was engaged at the time, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is married. Well, it turns out that some texts became public, and she got fired from New York Magazine and dumped by her fiancé, who was also a reporter. And some of the private messages leaked showed a real serious intimacy, but they both stressed there was nothing ever physical. He met her once for an interview, but they never had any kind of physical relationship, but they started sexting. And RFK Jr. downplays the whole thing, saying he only, met her for the interview. It's no big deal. But now she's coming out with a book, and I guess she's going to have the bombshell leak of private messages and what that was all about. And frankly, I don't really care, but again, it's another thing. And Robert F. Kennedy, anything that they can do to try to embarrass a Democrat who's now working to try to save America's healthy children issue or something is, they're going to attack him. And maybe know the name Representative Corey Mills from Florida, Congressman. He's been on Fox quite a bit. And now a Florida judge has slapped him with a restraining order because of his ex-girlfriend filing charges against him. His ex-girlfriend is the reigning Miss United States, Lindsay Langston. And she went to court because she said she's afraid he's going to do something to hurt her, including releasing some of their sex tapes. She says that Corey Mills, the congressman, sent a series of harassing communications, including a message where he said, she may want to tell every guy you date that if we run into each other at any point, strap up, cowboy. And then he said, I can send those guys a few videos of you as well. Oh, I still have them. Oh, my. Anyway, she's told him 10 times to stop bothering her, and he didn't stop, and so a judge has issued a restraining order against the congressman, a Republican from Florida. They shared a house together and broke up last May. And I don't know, so that's all snotty. A congressman, once again, a Republican, and it looks bad, and something bad's going to happen. Also coming, oh my God, our old friend John Rocker's back in the news. So we got a little something.
Your friend, not mine.
I know. But here we go. And so much, and Stephanopoulos and the teachers union erased Israel. It's unbelievable. All that's coming up. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and it's already 4:30. Holy smokes. Look out.
Extra 106.3 is connected to the Atlanta community with the local officials and candidates that share your values, plus the national perspective from the most trusted name in news like Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, and Atlanta's own Neil Boortz. Proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Oh no, what is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own. When it's not hard, it's really hard. But I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
Atlanta's Mark from the Safe House. We have exciting news. We are moving to a new location to serve you better. And as you can imagine, we would rather sell our inventory than move it. So drop by our Ackworth location and save hundreds and hundreds of dollars on all in-stock safes. Brands like Champion, Browning, Fort Knox, and many others. We also offer professional delivery and installation. And the really exciting part is our new location in Alpharetta will offer an even better selection to suit your safe needs. So go to AtlantaSafeHouse.com. That's AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Time now for the Retire Wise Report. James Parker here with financial advisor Sean Maloney, founder and CEO of Retire Wise. The big question for many of our listeners as they approach retirement is, will I be okay in retirement? Sean, how do you help someone figure out if they've saved enough to be comfortable?
Great question. There's a lot of different aspects to this, but the biggest thing is looking at risk. Look, there's a lot of different risks to your money, like market risk. There's healthcare costs, inflation, and taxes. All those need to be accounted for. Many people worry if they've saved enough. Am I going to outlive my money? Strategies to help preserve your wealth can be more important than the dollar amount that you saved. Get an analysis of your situation to help you get that clarity that you need.
Tell us about the offer you have for listeners.
If you're worried about if you'll be okay for retirement, you probably don't have a plan. You might not even know what I mean when I'm talking about, do you have a retirement plan? Well, we have a great resource for you guys. We have what's called the Retire Happy Framework Toolkit, and you can get that by calling or texting WISE to 770-802-2200. My team helped me put this thing together just for you, and it's a complimentary guide. And the center of this is a copy of my latest book, The Priority of Retirement. It has chapters from everything from investments to Social Security, income planning, and has other guides that go along with it as well, with some checklists in regards to all those different strategies and topics as well. So if you want to get that information in your hands today, call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. That's 770-802-2200.
Take advantage of this offer. Get your Retire Happy Framework today. Like Sean said, just text WISE to 770-802-2200. The team at Retire Wise will get you your Retire Happy Framework right away. So just call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor.
The Morning Extra, starting your day the right way. Weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
You're more than welcome to walk up to that man with a microphone and have a discussion with him.
You would invite him to the front of the line.
And you chose instead to get up on a perch and shoot him, rather than walk up to his face with a microphone and debate him. That is decidedly un-American. But these people are decidedly un-American.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Extra 106.3. Welcome to the Kimmer Show halftime update.
You bastards.
Let's check in with Pete on the scoreboard. Stories prepared versus stories actually
We've had a
covered.
very busy day. So, we did interrupted by the president and everything. All right, what did I do? Go ahead.
Of the 15 stories that you saddled poor Flounder with this morning at 5 a.m.
5:30, yes.
Out of 15, you have done 1, 2, 3, 4. You have done 4 of the 15. I don't have the percentage of that, but I don't think it's very good.
15 into 40 goes 3, so it's 3%. That's incredible. That's not good. By the way, and one of the reasons, in fact, Donald Trump's still speaking. This is unbelievable. The man runs the country from live at the White House. Did he mention in his earlier remarks, which we covered live, he said that Russia has lost, did he say 1.5 million people?
Yeah.
1.5 million dead Russians in the war with
they cannot afford.
Ukraine?
They're losing people. They're losing demographics. They can't afford that.
Are these all bombs going off every night? We don't know about. I mean, it's unbelievable.
What's been going on for how long now?
Well, almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years, yeah.
God, but when you say it out loud like that, it's just.
That's how stupid it is.
I don't think people care. Frankly, I don't. I've lost track of
Putin
Russia.
Is killing a generation of Russians, and they're not going to be able to replace this.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a dying nation.
Yeah. Let's go back to Donald Trump real quick.
Because the other Justice Department, with Rita or Lisa and all of that scum.
FBI scum.
What they did to the political opponent of a guy that has a seriously low IQ. Now, in his case, it was low based on his career, but it got real low. Okay, it was descending rapidly. But what they did to go after his political opponent is legendary. Worse than any third world country, banana republic.
Talk about
and
Biden.
What we're doing is nothing. Are you kidding? Nothing. They write stories. Why aren't they doing this? And we'll leave. I don't have to leave it up to them, but I choose to at this moment at least. But there's never been anybody treated in the history of politics. You know, they say the two worst treated presidents by the media, etc., was that man right there, the
Nixon,
late great
probably.
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, Lincoln, yeah. Well.
And this guy right there, Andrew Jackson. They say Andrew Jackson was treated terribly. They give him number 1 and number 2, but that was before I came along, Newt. I say I have number 1 times 10. Nobody's been treated like I've been treated. And I did a great job. You know, we had a great first term. And we had one of the most successful economies in history, et cetera. I rebuilt the military. We did a tremendous amount. The last part, we had a horrible thing called COVID. And we handled that well. We made ventilators for nations all over the world. We did a great job. Probably never get credit for it. Look at the therapeutics, Regeneron, all the different things, the vaccines, all the things we did. We did a great job, but we had to focus on that. But we had the best economy in the history of our country. We're blowing it away right now. Look at the stock market. It hit another all-time high today. That's 48 days out of the few days that I've served. 48 days have already hit record highs. And we have, maybe most importantly, the number we have now, I was saying 17, it's over $18 trillion is being poured into our country. It's because of the election and because of tariffs. Without the tariffs,
we'll come back to the show.
Same old.
I know, but still, it's Donald Trump, and it's just, he's,
It's just repeating himself, and it's just, it has nothing to do with what we need to talk about today.
I know. Well, again, on the other hand,
you're already at 4%. So,
well, okay, but still, the stuff.
It's one thing but he's just now going after people because he's mad at certain people. He should be talking about the economy.
Well, he was taking on the guy who was complaining that Trump is going after his political enemies when in fact he's trying to set the record straight for what they did to him. But anyway, okay. In fact, well, here's a little something that might be a little bizarre. And frankly, once again, we've been talking about what's happened in our public schools over the last several decades and why children are being taught to hate their country. And in fact, not only are they not being taught to respect their country, and not only are they not being taught that America is the greatest example of the search for liberty and freedom of any country in the world, starting with people who came across an ocean. And by the way, I saw a little something the other day about the original boats where the Pilgrims came across. They were 70 feet long.
Yeah, they're little bitty things.
Walk 70 feet is what? 30 steps? No, 25 steps? You right now do 25 paces, that's 75 feet.
The replica.
That's longer than a boat in the ocean.
You would be amazed how small that boat is.
Well, if you're at home right now or somewhere where you can walk, just pick a point and then walk 25 large steps. That's as big as the boat was with all those people crossing an ocean for months. By the way, can you imagine? Anyway, and so now here we go. This is why their children are not appreciating things like that and then taught to hate their country. And here's one of the very good reasons for it. The nation's largest teachers union sent out a mass email to its members which contained a map that erased the state of Israel and labeled the entire area Palestine, along with some material supporting Hamas's barbaric October 7th attacks to slaughter the Jews. 3 million teachers of their union materials got this stuff, teaching about indigenous peoples. The map showed reading materials from the Palestinian Youth Movement, which is also the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, which are foreign terrorist organizations supporting the email from the teachers union. the largest teachers union, National Education Association, NEA. Palestine Remembered, pages on assertion that European Jews are descended from converts from the kingdom, well-known debunked conspiracy theory. A page claiming the last thing Hitler wanted to do was genocide. He tried to save the Jews by sending them other places in the world. Oh my God. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. And so the reaction obviously appalled that the NEA promotes a map erasing Israel and the links into third-party sites glorifying Hitler. That's not education, that's a moral rot. The NEA finally got caught and erased it. But things like this, mistakes like this change and erase history, called into question the academic integrity of the largest teachers union in the United States and undermines the credibility of all its members.
Yep, that's what they're teaching the kids, that Israel should be wiped off the, literally wiped off the map.
You know, and again, how is it so offensive that a child at the beginning of the school day would be told to stand at attention, put your hand on your heart, and say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Right.
And it's
Nothing
banned.
wrong with that.
It's banned.
Yeah.
How could you not pledge allegiance to your country? Are we, well, it's because you can't force somebody to do so. I mean, what's the point? You have the right to fart in church. You have the right to eat 75 pounds of beans every Sunday morning and then go to church and fart on those hardwood pews if you want to. But that doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, and it doesn't make any sense. But you have the right to do it. So so what? Just these freaking people. Not everything is a thing. You don't have to fight.
Well, the country's too big and it's too pampered. And people have it too good, and they have no idea what it's like to live in a crap hole country where they have to fight for their food every day,
right?
And not have food every day, not have a job, not be able to move around, not be able to say what you have on your mind. They have no clue. They need to be forced. Here's one thing we can force them to do: live in a third world country or live in Great Britain for a while and be told you can't say this and you can't say that and you can't tweet this.
You know what it'd be if there was a forced? We don't have the draft anymore, but I am not opposed to young people being forced at some time in their upper education years to spend a year like at the Peace Corps. Or something in a third world country where they're, building huts or trying to put in irrigation systems or something for farmers.
Maybe use the word required.
Yeah. I mean,
I like force.
Well, make it so that they would want to do it. For example, you say, okay, here's the deal. If you join the Peace Corps for 1 year, we'll pay for 3 years of college.
Yeah,
hell, Kennedy did it. And in fact, there were still places that do that kind of thing. And I don't know why we can't do that in America. And I'll guarantee people would, you go through a couple of years of college and you're bored or you're weirded out or whatever. And then you get paid to go to a foreign country for a year, and then they pay the rest of your school off.
It's not just for. I don't think it's just for kids or teenagers or young adults. I think the people like Whoopi Goldberg and the people in The View pick their 70-year-old asses up and send them overseas. Because when they go overseas, guess where she stays? 5-star hotels.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Absolutely. We're all there. And I do that. We're all there. I'm in the same way. If I try to look up something on my phone and Google doesn't give it to me in 20 seconds, I get ticked off. Well, please. Talk about spoiled and, we don't realize how good we have it. Anyway, it's 4:45 already. Holy cow. Kimber Pete. It's true. Kimber Pete and Flounder. We got more. Look out.
Extra 106.3 app is your live connection to the station, streaming free across Georgia. But it's also loaded with all our original shows and podcasts. Listen to exclusive shows from Janelle King, Ben Burnett, and so many more. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Join Daniel Matalon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, 1 second chance at a time. This week's guest is Cobb County District Attorney Sonia Allen. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Hey, this is John Flading from ATL Turfco. We're a family-owned and operated independent local company here in the Atlanta area. We've been in business for over 15 years. We install several different types of artificial grass. One is landscape, which looks like real grass for your lawn. The next one is pet turf. Pet turf is a little bit shorter than landscape and it's more durable. And the other one is putting greens. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's Tug. I was raised to respect my neighbors, and they've got plenty to say about Southern Exteriors. Sarah from Covington, very professional, no hassle, and great quality. Will from Jackson, the crew showed up on time, worked efficiently, and left everything spotless. Jennifer from Jenkinsburg summed it up. Awesome, caring, professional. That's Southern Exteriors. Trusted by me, trusted by your neighbors. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. That's southernexteriors.co.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Ah, yes. It's the Dave Clark 5. Glad all over. And I'm telling you, as a young kid, when I was in the early 60s, I'm telling you, it used to be, it was the Beatles and the Dave Clark 5 were almost the same group.
You are so
I'm
crazy.
just telling you, when I was that age, well, you weren't even born yet.
You're the only person I've ever heard say that the Dave Clark 5 are even close to being as popular as the Beatles.
I didn't say that. Well, all I'm telling you was that when on the radio came on and hey, Robert W. Morgan playing the hits around sound bottle, town of our clown town, stuff like that. When they would play the Dave Clark 5 and they would play the Beatles, they both had the same kind of sound at that moment in rock and roll. That's all. I mean, obviously the Dave Clark 5 cannot, hold a jockstrap to the Beatles' popularity, but the sound was a very similar sound, and it was a huge hit sound for several years in the early and mid-'60s. Anyway, Dave Clark 5 in 2003 had their lead singer, Mike Smith, suffer a fall at his home in Spain, and he was paralyzed from the waist down in 2003. 5 years later, he died in 2008, about 10 days before the Dave Clark 5 was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 2003. Yeah, bummer. Our birthday list includes... let's see. Natalie Hershag. Natalie Hershag is 44. Natalie Hershag, well, you know her as Natalie Portman, because her real name was Hershag. Natalie Portman, 44. Known for her Star Wars works, she won an Oscar for Black Swan, the best friend turning on people ballet kind of movie. And Natalie Portman, I remember her first in the movie The Professional. And that's a hard movie, man. In fact, they just played it. I've got it. I DVR'd it the other night. I haven't seen it again yet. I haven't seen it in years. But it was with that guy, a guy played Leon, the Frenchman. I can't remember his name.
Jean Reno.
Reno, yeah. Called The Professional. And that was her movie debut. Natalie Portman debuted in the movies in The Professional at the age of 13. And some of the scenes were a little too something, like she was, I don't know. But Natalie Portman, 44. Also, Kim Rapine Flounder, how's it going? 404-741-1230, 741-1230. I posted several videos today, one of a young kid as they're going through the neighborhood on the way to work, and on the kid, one of those little mini, I don't know what you call them, it's like an electric teeny skateboard. It's thinner than a skateboard, and it's two little teeny wheels, and they stand sideways, and this kid he couldn't be 12 years old, if that, and he was doing 25 miles an hour on that little teeny mini-wheeled skateboard. I mean, it scared the crap out of me. Anyway, so I got video. I also post video of my dog Heidi, who is Rin Tin Tin's great-granddaughter, because Rin Tin Tin was first on TV on this day with his little boy master Rusty. And the other video I posted was also of back in May when I was at the stable. And I know Peter will remember this because we talked about what it might have been. I was leaning up against a tree, hiding from the horses so I could get some video of them playing and fighting and stuff like that without interrupting them. And I felt something on my finger, and I looked on the tree, and I realized that the tree bark was actually moving because it was a tree frog. I had never in my life seen an actual gray striped tree frog which disappeared in the bark on the tree. And I put that on Facebook and the YouTube Facebook page and my personal Facebook page to show. I'm still flabbergasted. It was just unbelievable about that tree frog, which looked like bark. And in fact, when I remember talking to you, Pete, when I said I felt something touch my finger, that could have been a snake. Because snakes go up in the trees like they're eating bugs and stuff. Copperheads do that. Anyway, it was on this day in 2024, last year, researchers discover 7 new species of tree frogs in Madagascar. They make strange, high-pitched whistling calls like the sound effects from the sci-fi series Star Trek. Ooh. The species are 7, I'm not making this up, 7 new species found in Madagascar, so they gave the species names. The names of the new tree frog species are Kirk, Picard, Cisco, Janeway, Archer, Burnham, and Pike. For whatever reason, anyway, the new tree frogs. All right, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 454 on 106.3, 404-741-1230. And here we go again, trying to hurt Donald Trump. Los Angeles has now declared a state of emergency because they want to keep ICE agents from coming into L.A. County. They say there are 10 million people and one of the largest immigrants populations in L.A. Now they can offer residents what L.A. did. They declared a state of emergency. So now they're giving their tax money in financial support to any illegal immigrant who has been impacted by the raids, including they're giving them rent, and they're paying for any state money used for their legal assistance after being arrested by ICE. So the county of Los Angeles has now declared a state of emergency to give tax money to more than 10 million people, including illegal aliens who get caught. They'll pay their rent and they'll pay their legal expenses. They're aligned to support immigrant communities who are being targeted by federal actions. They're targeting criminals. The county's taking necessary emergency action to protect, stabilize communities impacted by federal immigration. I mean, it's unbelievable. The raids have emboldened efforts to commit acts of race-based violence and hate. So, here we go. So because they're arresting illegal aliens who happen to be from a foreign country, therefore it's all racism. God, do they have to do racism for everything? These racist attacks? Holy smokes. 456. And by the way, I hate talking about this story, but it happened and it's true. Actually, in the United States Marine at Camp Pendleton, California, where I stood before I went to Vietnam, a Marine said his father is being deported after his father and mother were detained last month at Camp Pendleton trying to get on the base to visit his younger sister, Ashley, who's pregnant. Their daughter Ashley, this kid's a Marine's sister, and also Ashley's married to a Marine, and the parents came on, but they're also illegal. And when they got their check-in appointment at the base, they said, "Well, you're not a legal citizen," so they took them into custody, and the family all knew about it, and they knew this was going to happen one day. And unfortunately, their son, Rios, joined the Marines right out of high school because he wanted to make his parents proud. And, they came here illegally many years ago. And they were waiting for green cards, and they never did it. They never got to it. And all of a sudden, they started going on a Marine base, and they get ID'd, and they're not legal. And they were stopped at the main gate and held for ICE agents, and now they're afraid they may or may not be deported. My guess is something will happen where they won't be because they're not actually on a wanted poster. But here we go. I mean, here we go. Again, if they had done the right freaking thing, and when all this was happening, when Donald Trump was elected, he said, I'm going to be doing this, so either come and admit that you're here illegally, and then we'll let you back in, you can do the things, and everything will be fine, and they wouldn't do it. So you're going to suffer the consequences for not doing what you should have done. And it's wrong and it's horrible and it's a Marine on Camp Pendleton. So, but still, it's either right or wrong, and it just shouldn't have been done. They should have done the right thing.
But if we went to their country and did that, we'd be out on our ear or in prison.
And if you are pregnant and you go to Mexico and have your baby in Mexico, your kid is not Mexican.
They send you right back.
Yeah. You're kicked out of the country. God, I mean, we're the only country in the world that allows all these people to do anything they want, basically. And like Donald Trump said,
that Democrats and liberals do not believe in American exceptionalism, except in cases where it screws America.
Yeah, right. And make us feel
then we have to be better than everybody else and different than everybody else if it screws us.
Yeah, we're the only country in the world that has this immigration stuff. 458 Flounder got a little Flounder's funny back there. I'll bet you somewhere.
You ever watch a horror movie when you have no money? It's not scary. I was watching this movie about this doll haunting this guy's house, and I wasn't like, oh no, the doll. I was like, I wish I had a house. That would be nice. If I had a whole house, that would be pretty cool. I live in a studio. You ever see a haunted studio apartment movie? No, you haven't. It would be over in 3 minutes. You would hate it. The guy would be like, that doll could be anywhere. It's right there. Yeah. It's in the kitchen bathroom. Can't miss it. I don't know. It's a weird place for a doll.
It's in the kitchen bathroom?
Mr. Peter Revillo.
Peter Revillo. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's...
Revilio.
All right. 459, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And coming up, we'll do Donald Trump again said today on one of his live appearances at the Oval Office, running the country live. And he said Russia has lost 1.5 million people in the war with Ukraine. 1.5 million dead Russians from the war of Ukraine. And they're still not willing to stop. It's hard to believe. I can't believe there hasn't been a revolt, honestly. He must have Secret Service people everywhere. All right, coming up, 5 o'clock, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. How's it going? Good to have you aboard. Hope to hear from you, too. What's going on?
The Morning Extra, every weekday morning from 6 to 10 on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta on Dickey Broadcasting Station, Extra 106.3.
President Trump doubles down on Lisa Brady, Fox News, on a message to Hamas.
We want the weapons to be given up, sacrificed, and they've agreed to do it. Now they have to do it, and if they don't do it, we'll do it.
But the president also says he does not see a need for the U.S. military to be involved. 200 troops are now in Israel, but only to help monitor the ceasefire in Gaza. Today, 2 more hostage bodies were released by Hamas. One of the 8 bodies previously released turned out not to be hostage remains. The president also just telling reporters the U.S. is already in a trade war with China after threatening additional tariffs over China's new export controls on rare earth minerals, though Treasury Chief Scott Bessent offering reassurance earlier today.
We are confident in the strong relationship between President Trump and President Xi. We've had substantial communication with the Chinese over the past few days.
Adding that more is expected this week. An effort to end the government shutdown fails again in the U.S. Senate.
The 9th time was not the charm for a stopgap measure to reopen the government, as once again only 3 senators who caucus with Democrats joined all but 1 Republican, with the measure failing to reach the 60-vote threshold to break the Senate filibuster. Democrats want Republicans to negotiate an extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits, but Senate Majority Leader John Thune says he's not negotiating with the government shut down.
That's the conversation that we will have when the time comes, once we open up the government.
Democrats also want restrictions on the Trump administration's ability to cut spending already approved by Congress.
Fox's Ryan Schmel is on the Hill. Meantime, a federal judge in San Francisco issuing an emergency order temporarily blocking the firing of federal workers during the shutdown. A federal judge in Oregon extending temporary restraining orders that are blocking the president's deployment of National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medishare. That's right,
of course.
yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medishare and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless, and that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems, and let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in, and it's just what you need. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medishare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, can save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medishare. It's so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 866-89-BIBLE. That's 866-89-BIBLE. 866-89-BIBLE.
Help! Right. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a plank. Ready on your dog target. Help, road guards out. Look out, it's only me, it's only the Kipper with Pete Davis and Flounder. And you on 106.3, it's Hump Day. How's it going? Here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. If you missed the early part of the show, we had a lot of fun talking with some hot Kimmer babes about the business of man-gazing is back again. We maybe get that a little bit later on in the program about how it's starting to feel okay again. And Frank, we've been revolting about this for a long time. And Sydney Sweeney, God bless her, and the American Jean Eagle people with a jeans ad and stuff, and it all of a sudden let people realize, it's okay to look at a pretty girl and say, boy, there's a pretty girl. Boom, pow. What? That's not evil. And God, if you've never had, I can't believe that there's anybody alive who has not had a tingle at some point in his life, usually when they're, 12, 13, 14 years old, where, you see just a really attractive person of whatever sex you're attracted to, and it gives you a little tingle inside yourself, it's meant to be. If nobody was attracted to anybody, there would be no children. Because sorry, ladies, but it's not that we just always just want to be talk to you and be your friend. I'm sorry, so, we're willing to
all
talk.
Part of this anti-human thing that there's too many people and we need to cut back and there should be less human. In fact, no humans would be better. This whole movement's gone on for like 2 generations of anti-human self-killing of the entire species.
And the sidetrack of that is this gender business. All of a sudden, there, it's wrong or immoral or dangerous to label a gender. I mean, talk about lack of humanity. If you take away the gender and the sex of the human body, I mean, my God, what are they trying to do?
We don't have to go along with these crazy people.
And we're not doing it. We're not going along.
Get in their
with it
face.
Yeah.
Tell them no.
Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. There's nothing wrong with it. Good grief. Anyway, Kimmer Pete
Word
Flounder.
no's not used enough, in my opinion.
I know it. I know. Stand up for what's right. That's all. Just you. And that's what's wrong with the politicians on both sides of any particular argument is that if everybody would act as if you're doing the right thing, then you may suffer the consequences for it, but it would be better for everybody, including yourself, to know that you did the right thing. If politicians in Washington were really committed to doing the best thing for their country, we wouldn't have a shutdown like this. We wouldn't be going through all this stuff. And the politicians might say, well, this may cost me with some of the people back home, but I know it's the right thing to do for America. If they cared more about America than they do about getting reelected or getting, donations coming in, then we'd all be in a better spot. And that's never going to happen because it's the nature of the beast. We've seen how deep the swamp is now. It's worse than we ever thought it was. So.
And Donald Trump has proven that these politicians are not up there to help things. They're up there just to grease themselves. Yeah. The politicians are the problem. The two parties are the problem, not the system, the two parties. And Trump has shown you don't have to be a lifelong politician and know how the things work, and Washington works this way, and how to pull the strings here and there. You don't have to know any of that. Yeah. Just get in there and do what's right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. If you really represented what's best for your country, you could eliminate any, and you can say, well, I did the right thing for the country. And then you could always feel better about yourself and be. It's like if you don't lie, then you never have to remember what the lie was. Right. That's the problem with liars get caught, because at some point later they're going to forget which lie they were relying on to get through. So you know what I mean? And so if you never tell a lie, you never have to worry about which one you lied. I mean, it's just, anyway, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm so, it's really funny. I'm so discombobulated because I was here like 3 hours late today because I all of a sudden I became deaf. I couldn't hear a damn thing, and I thought, oh man, my hearing aids are all screwed up. And so I went to the hearing aid place and I sent them off, and I had to wait for a while because they're busy and everything, But they got me right in. Hear USA is a very nice place, really wonderful people there. And she said, well, no, your hearing aids are fine. I said, oh. So she looked at my ear and said, yeah, you can't, you got it all clogged. Something's going on in there. And so she said, well, there's a CVS up the road, and they have a little CVS pharmacy area, and they'll check your ears and stuff for you. So I went to the CVS, and he said, well, you have to make an appointment, so it'll be like 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. And I said, well, gee, I'm going to be kind of busy. So then he said, well, there's a building down the street for Northside Medicals. And I said, oh, God. So then I had to go on to the thing, and I went to them, and it filled out 19 forms of, what are your allergies? Have you ever been? And I'm going, no, I don't. I just want my ears taken anyway. So, but anyway, and so everything's fine, and everything's going to be okay. But it scared the crap out of me because it was scary, and I lost like 3 hours of show prep, and I'm still discombobulated about it. But everything's going to be fine.
You couldn't tell.
I know. Yeah, that'll be the day. Anyway, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. It's 5:09 already. Holy Crap of Sports is coming up. Do we have tweets? We have some. Maybe later on we'll do some tweets.
Yeah, we got a game. Tweets,
we got a game too. Oh my goodness. Well, we'll do both. Between now and 6, we'll definitely do both. A couple of quick updates. Donald Trump announced today once again that he's blowing up more boats in Venezuela in the ocean. Let's see. The State Department is revoking visas about the Charlie Kirk case. The State Department is revoking visas from foreigners who are here and then have the balls to actually salute the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The 6 foreign nationals are from Argentina, South Africa, Mexico, Germany, Brazil, and Paraguay. And with the Argentinian, for example, said Charlie Kirk devoted his entire life to spreading racist, xenophobic, misogynistic rhetoric. The South African poked fun at Americans who are grieving Charlie Kirk, saying, oh, they're really hurt that racist rally ended in attempted martyrdom. He was used to AstroTurf, a movement of white nationalist trailer trash. Oh, really? And you're here on a visa from a foreign country. And this is the way you treat America. You're here as a guest. Okay? You're here as a guest. And so they're kicking him out. Let's see. One guy was living with a tranny roommate, and they helped who helped the feds catch the alleged assassin. Anyway, just unbelievable. 510. Oh, this is kind of interesting. I saw there's a new study, University of Buckingham, which I believe is in Wales or someplace.
No, it's in England.
Is it England? Yeah, whatever. Well, it's close. Same thing. There's new data. It was so close. Wales, Ireland, I don't know. New data suggests that maybe for a reason we can both think of right now, younger adults are not as often identifying suddenly as non-binary. And by the way, since no one ever used that term until the freakoids started doing it a couple of years ago, but non-binary means the people do not identify as either male or female. And so it turns out there's new study data that shows, well, here's the title. Quote, the decline of trans and queer identity among young Americans. The percentage of non-binary Gen Zers in America is going down. Fewer of the Gen Zers are deciding that they don't know their freaking gender. Centers for Disease Control data, prevention surveys of high school students, several smaller surveys as well. 50,000 undergrads, leading research universities, 3.6% of young adults identify as a gender other than male or female. It used to be more than 5, now it's about 3. It used to be 7 2 years ago. Data from Andover, which is a very well-known prep school. I have friends who went to Andover, Exeter, Choate. 3% of students identified non-binary. It used to be 8%. At Brown University, 2.6%. Neither male nor female. Used to be double that. And those who identify denote a downward shift in identifying as non-binary, gender queer, or questioning or unsure. So anyway, well, I mean, and it may well be because finally, now maybe parents are saying, you know, what do you got there, Pete? It's hard to say. You got the, was that the...
Welsh Dragon would like some words with you about what you just...
I know, you have the red dragon on that way. Well, you're kind of cutting off on the satellite signal. I couldn't quite tell what it was. Yeah, he might have a little thing there. Anyway, and by the way, speaking of, well, no, I'll get to that story later. We got Pete's coming up here, and we got remember that? Have you seen the video of that woman dragged away by that guy in like a kidnapping? She's okay, she's alive, and they caught the guy. And it's pumpkin time. Oh, is it Halloween time? Is that coming up? Jack-o'-lantern? Anyways, 5:13 already. Holy cow. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Everything's fine. We'll do a little sports check here. We got playoffs still going on, and, we'll see what's happening. 5:13, 404-741-1230 if you want to join us. Holy crap, it's sports is next.
Extra 106.3 is Atlanta's home for NASCAR, and we have live races every weekend from across the country. Check out extra1063.com for the full schedule and join us this weekend for live NASCAR action.
Hey, get your safe. They're on sale. It's going nuts up there at Atlanta Safe House. Their showroom in Ackworth, but not for long. It's on Industrial Boulevard, and they've got, I'm telling you, you'll save hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. If you've been waiting, this is it. Because they're moving their headquarters in the area, going to Alpharetta, which is nice. But they don't want to haul them down there and put them back up again if they don't have to. They'd rather sell them as they are, and then, they take our delivery. And by the way, don't forget, if you get safe delivered to your home or office or wherever, they use off-duty military, firefighters, police officers, stuff like that, because you can trust them where you live and where you work. And don't forget the AMSEC wall safes. Check those out. The biometric electronic locks. They got all kinds of stuff. Barrel racks for long guns, pistol racks, bow and arrow stuff, file drawers, jewelry things. And don't forget, no sales tax on gun safes at Atlanta Safe House. Again, they're moving their showroom from Ackworth into Alpharetta. Their sales, you'll save a bundle, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, because they want to get rid of them right. Well, not get rid. They sell them to you right there instead of hauling them down to Alpharetta. It really works. Please tell them the Kimmer sent you. Look them up on the web, atlantasafehouse.com.
Hey, Braves fans, sometimes life throws you a knee-buckling curveball. That's when Truist One Checking steps up to the plate. If you're behind in the count, you won't have to worry about overdraft fees. Plus, eligible clients enjoy a balance buffer for some extra cushion. You'll get a convenient mobile app to keep an eye on things and access to thousands of Truist ATMs. Be ready every inning with Truist One Checking. It's life-ready checking that grows with you. Get Truist One Checking today. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
The right partner makes all the difference. For more than 185 years, we've forged personal relationships with our customers and communities, funding economic development and rallying around the causes that are important to our neighbors. With the technology, products, and expertise you'd expect from a big bank and the local decision-making and commitment to community from your neighborhood bank, United Bank Shares is your trusted financial partner for life. Learn more at bankwithunited.com. United Bank Shares, member FDIC.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticky, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Exmark. It's time to turn your work into fun with Exmark mowers this fall from Howard Brothers. Exmarks are built for speed, precision, and durability, making every cut cleaner, every job faster, and have fun doing it. Whether you're mowing lawns or cleaning up leaves, homeowner or pro, Exmark helps you stay ahead of the work, giving you more time to enjoy the cooler season. So gear up and save time with the mowers the pros trust. Find your Exmark at Howard Brothers today. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Exmark and Howard Brothers.
Look out, I was on this day. Well, I'm just looking at Dana Prinos on the set today on Fox, a little summer bare shoulder outfit on. Talk about admiring beauty. And now sponsored by RBM of Atlanta. Holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
Falcons running back Bijan Robinson named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for the spanking he put on Buffalo's defense Monday night. And did you know that Bijan Robinson was not breathing when he was born and did not start breathing until his grandmother put her hand on his chest?
Wow. I did not know that. Excellent.
Despite Kansas City beating Detroit last weekend, ESPN dropped the Chiefs 2 spots in their power rankings. KC went from 7th to 9th.
Oopsie.
The Falcons not in the top 10 of this list, by the way. Tampa Bay is number 1, followed by guess who?
Well, I don't know anymore because Philadelphia's out of it. Let's see. Probably like Denver or somebody.
No. Detroit. The team that just lost.
Just lost a game.
Is at number 2, and the team that beat them fell 2 spots.
Well, I don't get any of this. Power rankings?
We're starting to think ESPN may be a little corrupt on this one.
Wow, that doesn't make any sense.
Just a bit. Braves first baseman Matt Olson and shortstop Nick Allen are finalists for the Golden Glove Award at their positions. Okay. Winners to be announced November 2nd. Michael Harris II should be, but is not on the list for some crazy reason.
Can I ask you a question about that before you go on? I hate to interrupt you.
You may.
The Golden Glove, I don't know exactly, is it a percentage of plays you make without making an error, or is it the number of times you get a chance, or how do they determine?
No, I think it's the players voting on it.
So they just say, so it's really just a personal opinion of what they think is the best one at the job?
Because otherwise we know already.
Well, again, I don't know who vote. Is it just players voting?
Just players vote.
Huh. Okay. Well, okay.
I think that's the way at least it used to be. Former Padres manager Mike Schilt says one of the reasons he retired abruptly is he was getting death threats from sports bettors during the season. Jeez. And you thought the fan base in San Diego was mild.
Yeah.
Schilt was also having poor sleep, losing his hair, and chest pains. But there's always a big but, as Pee Wee Herman said.
Yeah.
A story by John Heyman in the New York Post says Schilt was not very nice to his coaches there or in St. Louis, and one insult almost led to punches being thrown between him and the one coach. This may also put a new light on Schilt being surprisingly fired by the Cardinals a few years ago after a pretty good season.
Well,
they won 17 in a row, and then they fired him.
Wow. Yeah, probably a good reason.
Yeah. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Pitched a complete game, 5-1 win in Milwaukee last night as LA takes the first 2 games of the NLCS.
How does he make that ball do that? And they show the close up of the split finger stuff, and that thing dives. And it's remarkable, just remarkable.
Samurai pitcher,
unbelievable.
It's ancient Chinese secret. That's
but it's a lot of why is it? This is horribly generic and kind of generalization, but it seems like an awful lot of Japanese pitchers all are great doing that. Hell, even Sushi Wushi guy has like 9 pitches. Shohei Ohtani,
Ichiro Sushi Wushi,
has like 9 pitches. It's unbelievable.
You Darvish, is that who you're talking about?
No, Shohei Ohtani. When he was pitching, Shohei Ohtani, and all of them.
Wushi?
I'm seriously, all of them have like 9 pitches.
You'll be hearing from the Japanese consulate downtown, my friend.
I might have misspoken.
Blue Jays in Seattle tonight for Game 3 of their ALCS. The Mariners won both games in Toronto. M's catcher Cal Raleigh is known as the Big Dumper. So a porn site wants to hand out thousands of rather specific sex toys in honor of the Big Dumper. If you get my meaning, it rhymes with mutt bug.
Thank you.
Big college football night. Delaware visits Jacksonville State. Who you got?
I got to go Jacksonville State. I got to go south here.
All right. Texas El Paso at Sam Houston.
Got to go Sam Houston just for the Alamo.
Okay. TheSpun.com, an offshoot of Sports Illustrated, has a senior writer there calling for Penn State to call who to be their new head coach?
Not Deion Sanders.
I guess they're tired of putting Lane Kiffin on every single list. Nick Saban.
Oh, he's not. He's not going to go back to coaching.
Just when you thought the common sports writer couldn't get more lazy with his topics.
I mean, please.
Nick Saban's going to go to Happy Valley.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Urban Meyer says former Mississippi State, Florida, and current UNLV head coach Dan Mullen would be perfect as the new Nittany Lions coach. He would probably take that job, tell you the truth, if they offered it. I don't think they will, though. And there's a rumor floating about that current Kentucky head coach Mark Stoops will leave Lexington for the wilderness of Blacksburg and Virginia Tech.
Well,
I don't think.
I don't know if that's a good step or not.
No, unless Kentucky fires him, which they probably will at some point anyway. 10 college teams are already bowl eligible. Can you name at least one?
Ohio State.
Yes, that's correct. Flounder, can you name at least one? Flounder's
he's doing something else.
That would be Georgia Tech, Ole Miss, Memphis, Texas Tech, UNLV, Brigham Young, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Navy.
Hello, Navy. Navy's eligible for a bowl. That's cool. Excellent.
Already?
I thought Army was. Isn't Army undefeated or something too?
Last year, not this year.
Oh, okay.
Not this year. No. There's a lot of talk about how college football has changed with NIL and the transfer portal. So who really are the new blue bloods of the sport? Well, of the last 5 seasons, who are the 9 teams with the best records? Kemmer, name me one of those teams.
In the last total of the last 9 years, got to be Georgia.
Georgia. 5 years.
Georgia's got to have one of the best records.
Georgia is number 1. Yeah. They're at 58-6, a 906 winning percentage. Flounder, can you give me one of the other 9?
Ohio State.
That is correct, sir. Ohio State is second with an 869 winning percentage. Third, Michigan, 839. Tied for fourth, Alabama and Oregon at 820. Number 6, Notre Dame at 787. At 7th, Ole Miss, 776 winning percentage. 8th is James Madison.
Really?
At 767. They upset a lot of people. And at 9th, you got Tennessee, a 724 percentage.
What about Indiana? I thought Indiana was going nuts.
Indiana's only been good the last 2 years.
I got you. Also, by the way, I did hear that the Notre Dame coach may be asked about going to Penn State. Does that make any sense?
You know where you heard that?
I don't know. I read it somewhere. I don't remember where I got it.
Yesterday during Holy Gravid Sports.
Oh, you said that yesterday? Oh, my God. Yeah. Sorry.
So that's where you heard
this guy was listening, clearly.
Like me.
I wasn't remembering, but I was listening. I was listening.
Usually Flounder's getting, reports from his wife. This time he was just staring blankly into the wall.
He was saying, what I got to do on the way home, God? Was it milk or?
President Donald Trump is threatening to pull next year's World Cup soccer games out of Boston, citing civil unrest and crime in the city and a liberal mayor. 7 matches scheduled for Foxborough, which isn't really, that's like saying the Falcons are playing in Canton or something. It's not really Atlanta. It could be moved to other sites, though. Players from the Steelers and Browns, they've gone to the Players Association to complain about the still horrible condition of what we used to call Heinz Field in Pittsburgh.
Really?
When the Falcons played there, I'm telling you, when the Falcons played there and I traveled with them 25 years ago, it was the worst natural field I'd ever seen in my life. Basically, what it is, it's like standing on a beach right before you get to the beach, kind of like at Hilton Head, where they got the reeds and everything sticking out.
Yeah, seagrass and stuff. Yeah.
It's grass sticking out of sand is what it is. Yeah. Just sand everywhere. You'd slip kicking a field goal. You slip walking across the damn thing. It's been that way for 25-plus years. And you all this talk about the Steelers, the best organization in NFL.
The family,
fix your damn field.
Yeah, this is a family organization well known for the. Yeah, exactly. And you'd think they have. Now, I think they have the money.
Oh, they're going to replace it, but even Aaron Rodgers is going, come on, what's up with this field?
Yeah, I know. It's
embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
On this day, sports history, October 15th, 1917. Let me take you there.
All right, sure.
A letter signed by 24 World Series champion White Sox members and manager Pants Rowland, what a name, Pants Rowland, contained complaints about not getting their full share after they beat the New York Giants in the World Series. The written request, discovered as a tattered document 40 years later among boxes stored at the Hall of Fame Library, may explain the Black Sox motivation for fixing the Fall Classic just 2 years later.
Oh, because they didn't get their fair share and they made up for it by
Kaminsky was a
gamblers.
cheap son of a bitch.
Yeah. Wow.
And 8 men out. The movie shows it.
Yes, it did.
1946, Game 7 of the World Series. Cardinals beat the Red Sox 4-3 when Enos Country Slaughter streaked home from first on a long single into the left center gap by Harry Walker, Harry the Hat Walker, who stayed at first to avoid making the last out before the run crossed the plate. The play surprised everyone. In fact, it's on film, including cutoff man shortstop Johnny Pesky, who was just vilified because he allegedly hesitates throwing the ball home. Now, I've watched the film.
Yeah.
It didn't look like he hesitated that much, if he did at all.
Do they think he was in on a fix of some kind of not throwing out?
They just think he was so surprised.
Had a brain fart kind of thing.
That Slaughter, who wasn't very fast, was running all the way, that he just held it for a second.
Yeah.
If it was a brief second.
Yeah.
But the Boston fans did not let him live that one down. 1964, in his final postseason game, Mickey Mantle hit a 3-run homer to the opposite field off right-hander Bob Gibson. It was the third homer of the series for the Mick. A 7-5 loss to the Redbirds in the Game 7. The Sportsman's Park round tripper extended the Mick's World Series record to 18. It was basically the Yankees dynasty started in 1923 when they won their first ever World Series, beating the New York Giants. That dynasty lasted until 1964. This was the end of that.
Yeah. That's growing up as a kid, for that matter. That was the freaking damn Yankees, and they
didn't go back to a World Series till '76. And I've said this before: when I was a kid, the Yankees were horrible.
Yeah, they were.
The Yankees were a joke.
Yeah,
until Steinbrenner brought them.
Yeah.
1970, one of my favorite players ever, Brooks Robinson, won the World Series Most Valuable Player award, batted .429, drove in 6 runs during 5-game set against Cincinnati. The Orioles' third baseman and Little Rock native, became the first player to be named the MVP in the World Series, an All-Star game back in '66, and his league MVP back in '64.
And I think you've said before that Brooks Robinson is probably the best fielding third baseman ever, but Mike Schmidt may be the best third baseman ever. Is that
overall? I'd pick Schmidt overall.
Yeah.
1988, his only plate appearance in the Fall Classic, and limping Kirk Gibson, appearing as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning of Game 1, sent a 2-out, 3-2 pitch from relief ace Dennis Eckersley over the right field fence, giving the Dodgers a 5-4 victory over the A's. The round tripper marked the first time a World Series game ended on a come-from-behind home run in the final inning. I was literally on the phone, standing in my apartment in Virginia Highlands. My girlfriend was closing her little Monterey market there in Virginia Highlands. I said, I'll be there in just a second. This game is about, oh, crap.
And remember going around the bases, he's doing the old humpy there, and he was down in the alleyway. What do you call it? The players' alleyway, taking his clothes off, and they said, "See if Kirk wants to hit one." He says, "Yeah, I'll go up there." And it just was kind of a last minute thing, as I remember. Tommy Lasorda said, just see what he's doing. Yeah, send Kirk up there. What the hell? See if he's got one more in him or something. I mean, what a story.
Eckersley was unhittable that year in '88.
Yeah.
Unhittable.
When I was in Chicago that time, and I went to Wrigley Field every day covering sports for WLS, and Eckersley that year was on the pitching staff of the Cubs, and a really nice guy, by the way. Yeah, I think he had a little trouble with a couple of things, but I used to see him all the time when I was retired down in Florida, PGA National. He lived there, PGA National. I'd see him all the time walking around with his wife and stuff. But of course, nice man anyway. Yeah. Hall of Famer.
Oh, yes, I believe you are. I think he is.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm almost positive. Okay. Gotta be. Was that it for you, sir? I didn't want to interrupt.
That's it, sir.
All right. Well, I got. I'll tell you what. With a little thing here, and then coming back, the great one. A historical note coming up with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 5:30, and our number 404-741-1230 if you want to jump on board till 6 o'clock here. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, look out.
Hey there, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, Cobb's premier lifestyle magazine, where you'll find familiar faces local voices, and community businesses like St. Benedict's Episcopal School.
I'm Father Brian Sullivan, head of school at St. V's in Smyrna. We welcome students preschool through 8th grade into a diverse and inclusive community. With small classes and personalized learning, we focus on the whole child academically, socially, and emotionally. Beyond the classroom, our students thrive in arts, clubs, mini athletics, and community service. We're proud to offer Spanish as a core curriculum, and we are a STEM certified school, preparing graduates for success in high school and beyond. Applications are now open. Learn more at stbs.org.
Thanks, Father Brian. Friends, check out this community treasure. And remember, Our Town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Fall is in the air, and Central Heating and Air Conditioning is making it the perfect time to upgrade your comfort. For a limited time, you get up to $2,100 in rebates and 60 months, 0% financing with approved credit. That's right, savings up front and no interest for 5 whole years. A brand new carrier system from Central delivers dependability, efficiency, and comfort every family deserves. Central Heating and Air Conditioning have set the standard in heating and cooling for over 3 generations. And now's your chance to bring that comfort home with the best savings of the season. These dual incentives don't come around often, so act now. Call 770-GET-HEAT today. That's 770-GET-HEAT. Or visit centralheat.com, centralheat.com. Upgrade your comfort, lock in your savings, and turn to your Atlanta carrier experts. Central Heating and Air Conditioning.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms do apply.
The Fan and Extra 106.3 are proud to salute all those who've served our great nation at our 2025 Veterans Day Golf Classic. Friday, November 7th at Heritage Golf Links. Join all your favorite Fan and Extra personalities for a day of golf, prizes, and fun, all benefiting our friends at the Warrior Alliance. Special thanks to Mizuno, Georgia Drive Chevy, First Watch, Scana Energy, Matthews Cafeteria, Crown Royal Canadian Whiskey, Patron Tequila, Surfside Iced Tea and Lemonade Vodka, and Weber Ranch Vodka.
Here we go. A little Motley Crue here. Oh, no, it's Dolly Parton. I'm sorry.
It's Motley Crue.
Oh, you trying to trick the camera.
Oh, did I say Motley Crue and not Whoops, that's my fault.
No, it's no fault.
This is a better song anyway.
Yes, I liked it. Jolie. Jolene.
But the fact you actually thought this was Motley Crue?
No, when I first heard, I said, I don't know this song by Motley Crue, and then I heard her, and I said, well, obviously, why? But anyway, 1973, Dolly Parton released this song, Jolene, as the first single and title track from her album, same name. The song peaked at #1 in the country charts. Jolene was inspired by a red-headed bank clerk who flirted with her husband, Carl Dean, with Dolly Parton's husband, flirted with her husband at a local bank branch when they were newly married. Jolene, the song most recorded by other artists out of all the songs Dolly Parton has written. This one is the one that other artists record of her songs. I would have thought it'd be 9 to 5 or... And a lot of them anyway. Dolly Parton. Okie dokie. Our birthday list includes Chef Emeril Lagasse is 66 today. Also 66, Sarah the Duchess of the Duchess of York. That was an unfortunate nickname. She was a redhead who was a little plump at times and so forth. Fergie used to be married to Prince Andrew. And boy, is he in trouble now. There's even more of the royal family after the latest declaration that he was still communicating with Jeffrey Epstein long after it was all out of what was going on. He said, we'll get through this together. Don't worry, I'll be back to have some more fun later. Yeah. We'll play later. Oh, my God. Anyway, Sarah Duchess of York spent time, and now it says here, she spent time as a pimp for Weight Watchers. That's cold. Wow. Her daughters are 9th and 12th in line for the throne. Sarah Duchess of York was married until, I believe, her husband saw the photographs of Sarah on a beach with some guy from Texas sucking her toes.
Sucking her toes. And I told you before, I interviewed her.
Yeah, right.
Tom Hughes was off one day, and I was filling in for Tom. And Miller Pope kept egging me on, going, ask her about the toe sucking. Ask about toe sucking. And I made a couple jokes about it, and it went right over her head.
Oh, my God.
She was not very smart.
This little piggy went home, did he?
Yeah, that's it. The game was afoot over there, I understand. Well, he needs to toe the line.
Yeah,
we
there
did them
you
all.
go. Oh, my God. Duh. On this day in 1989, Los Angeles Kings star Wayne Gretzky, playing against the Edmonton Oilers, enters the game with 1,849 points to his career record. 5 minutes into the first period, Wayne Gretzky scores a goal and ties Gordie Howe's record for most goals in a historical career. And then after that, Gretzky says, I didn't play much. I got my bell rung a few times. I didn't even play really till the end of the game. 61 seconds left on the clock. A defender shot the puck toward the corner of the goal. Gretzky had slid around behind the net, which he called Gretzky's office, skated around, backhanded the puck, past the goaltender, and broke the record of Gordie Howe's. The fans went nuts because he used to play for Edmonton. The fans went bizarre. They had a standing ovation, lasted more than 2 minutes, and the league stopped the game for a ceremony at center ice. Gordie Howe made a speech. There were gifts. This might be the game. Stop the game. There were gifts. A 1.8 carat diamond bracelet with diamonds spelling out 1851, which would be the record goal, gave from his old teammates, a crystal hologram engraved with his picture from the Kings, and a carved silver tray from the league. Then Gretzky took the microphone, thanked the fans in Edmonton, his parents, and his wife, and added, Gordie is still the greatest in my mind and the greatest in everyone's mind. Gordie Howe was 61. He returned the affection. If it was, pardon the expression, some clown who'd broken his record, it would have bothered me, but not Wayne. And what a tribute. Scoring all-time. Is he probably the best hockey?
Oh, he's the Babe Ruth of hockey.
Yeah. 538, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230 if you'd like to join us. There's a lot of stories going on about people who are complaining about Charlie Kirk. And we know that, I mentioned a few minutes ago, that the State Department is now actually kicking out of the country guests here on visas who are saluting the assassination or murder of Charlie Kirk. Well, even at Delta Airlines, there's a story making the rounds locally about a guy named Matthew Palmer. And he has been notified that he was notified of his suspension and then fired because he had a Facebook post and he said, Charlie Kirk is dead. Good riddance. A lot of people working for Delta are getting some serious behavioral comeuppance because of the things about Charlie Kirk. And the officers at Delta say, remember, we represent Delta at all times in any forum. You have to act in ways that uphold our shared values and human connection that defines us. And the gay guy says, well, Charlie Kirk doesn't like gay people, and he's all this kind of stuff. He said, I feel betrayed, not because of who I did or said what I did, but I wasn't given an opportunity to explain I was coming from. Yeah, please. If you're, I don't give a damn whether you're gay or not. If you're saluting the murder of Charlie Kirk, whose worst, problem was that he got young people around America to start believing in God again and going to church. I mean, good grief. If you're saluting the assassination of anybody, you're a scumbag. I mean, how else can you explain it? Well, he doesn't like gay people. Well, what do you mean he doesn't? I'll bet he prays for gay people. I guarantee you Charlie Kirk never hated anybody. But, by true definition. He disagreed and anyway, God, why even talk about it? It's freaking people. You salute people who got murdered, then screw you. You don't deserve our respect. And if I were a boss, I'd fire you too. Seriously. I wouldn't want to work with a guy who's saluting somebody's murder. Especially when as your life been ruined, you got a job, you're working at Delta, you had a career going, everything was fine because you're gay, nobody gave a damn. Probably 80% of the flight attendants and male flight attendants are probably gay. Who cares? Nobody cares. Just screw you. Shut up next time and, God, just go screw yourself. We're tired of people, scumbags like you. John Rocker back at it again.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, just very quickly. And I remember, that John Rocker was a hell of a pitcher there for a while. He was wild and crazy and stuff.
Short time.
Yeah, for a very short period of time, but he was definitely in the news. And then all of a sudden, he took the train in New York. Well, he's done it again. He's on X now. John Rocker, he's calling for, he said there should be an American citizen drive selection for Uber. He said, I don't want to be driven around by somebody. I don't want to be driven around by somebody who was riding a camel 12 months ago. I remember back in 1999, he said, I'll never play for the Yankees or the Mets because I don't want to take the 7 train to the ballpark. Looks like you're riding through Beirut next to some kid with purple hair, next to some queer with AIDS, next to some dude who just got out of jail for the 4th time, right next to some 20-year-old mom with 4 kids. The biggest thing I don't like about New York are the foreigners. You can walk an entire block in Times Square and not hear anybody speaking English. Asians and Koreans and Vietnamese, Indians, Russians, Spanish, everything up there. How the hell do they get in this country anyway? John Rocker also said recently, the Super Bowl going to be stained by Bad Bunny, the halftime performance artist, calling him a cross-dressing singer who hardly speaks English. And by the way, is that still going on? Has he been still approved or whatever?
He's still there. And Jerry Jones has come out and said you don't have a guy. He makes it a farce, the National Football League, if you got a guy in a dress up there.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's an insult to most NFL fans who don't even know who the blank this guy is.
He's a Spanish singer in a dress. How does that possibly have anything to do with the NFL and the people, the families who want to watch the Super Bowl? And again, did you say, was it Jay-Z? You said, who selects the halftime entertainment?
I think Jay-Z.
I think you said it was Jay-Z. That somehow the NFL gave the right to select the halftime entertainment to Jay-Z. I mean, why would they pick that?
Well, he's got his finger on the pulse of society.
No, he doesn't.
Like he and P. Diddy and all that.
Who made that decision? Would that? I couldn't have been by himself. I mean, about what's his name? The king.
Goodell.
Goodell. I don't know. 42. I can't believe it. All right. Well, let's do something a little more. I've talked before about a book that a guy named Pete, I told you, sent me, and I never sent him a thank you note. I'm going to try to find his address. I lost his car, but I might be able to find it someplace. He sent me a book called Imagine Heaven. And it's a book, basically, among other things, describing near-death experiences of those who were clinically dead and came back and described what they saw. Well, there's another study going on here, which is something to think about. When at death's door, opening a window to a whole new world, about 15% of people who are severely ill reported an NDE, near-death experience, and an overwhelming out-of-body sensation, an encounter with a dead loved one, a vision of the bright light, a rapid review of your milestones, or a profound sense of peace. Researchers at the University of Virginia surveyed a couple of hundred people who had near-death experience, were dead, and came back. One coping mechanism stood out among all the others. 70% of the people who died and came back reported a shift in their religious or spiritual beliefs and their fears of death. My near-death thing was considerable, one guy wrote. I know I'll never be the same person, so ongoing reflection and inner work are needed daily. 20% say their divorce or breakup and even weathering relationships or challenging or breakdown had nothing compared to this. Isolation and loneliness were themes among people who came back to life. One guy said near-death experience was a double-edged sword. Incredibly transformative experience they kept to themselves for fear of being judged. 2/3 reached out to healthcare professionals, spiritual advisors. 80% found the support helpful, seeking help from people to deal with it. One guy said he had trouble finding support in church. One guy said, we just don't do that here. They have trouble discussing what happened to him. He said, I don't know anybody who's deep enough to handle it. The responses were all textbook and uninspired, very disappointing. My experience was around me, didn't understand the magnitude of what I went through, and I didn't think others would care. They hope that other people will come to their need. And I'll tell you, when I read that book, you hear the story of a 7-year-old boy who later on, you didn't know what was going on. He later told people, oh, yeah, I remember there was a time there when I kind of came out of that bed and I looked over in the next room and I saw my mother crying. And in fact, his mother was in the next room crying when he had died. And then, I mean, how do you explain that? They're being one after another, after another, after another. They saw people, they talked to people, and again, the whole thing with the light and the peaceful and it's unbelievable.
I think what this quantum entanglement and physics and everything, the more we go into it, is going to prove that everything we've been told our entire lives has been a bald face. We have no freaking clue what we're talking about.
I completely agree. I think it's the great. Unfortunately, the problem is it's the greatest mystery of all kind, and also the greatest tragedy of knowledge that everybody alive knows they're going to die. We animals don't know that. Nobody human beings, as far as we know, are the only species of anything alive that knows we're not going to live forever, and we are all going to die.
Other animals know death, like elephants know death.
Yeah, but they don't know their own.
I don't think they know if they're going.
Yeah. Anyway, but again, it was called Imagine Heaven, and I was emboldened by it, and it was a powerful meaning to me. So anyway, all right, 5:46. Kimmer P. Flounder, how you doing? It's almost 6 o'clock. Be better in a minute.
Extra 106.3 is proud to be a community station that shares your values. This is your station, talking about issues and stories that are most important to you and your family. Stream us live on our all-new app in crystal clear HD and always live on your radio at 106.3 FM.
More than intelligent, it's thoughtful. Not just spacious, it's sensuous and stylish. It's indulgent, yet outgoing. Foundationals to the GLC SUV is a turbo hybrid power, intelligent digital cockpit, and MBUX with routines. Get an exceptional offer on the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 SUV. Just $579 per month for 36 months with $5,203 due at signing, exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models during the RBM of Atlanta's fall sales event, now through October 31st. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through October 31st, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
Are you looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a third-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand sweet onions. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Here today with Evan Ward, host of North Georgia's Retirement Game Plan. And Evan, we're told to enjoy retirement, but frugal investors often worry about overspending and running out of money. So when it comes to your clients, how can you help ease some of those worries?
Well, it starts with income planning. And, here's one of the most common mistakes. It's almost every single person when we first meet with them, they have no income plan. Mm-hmm. They have a thought, they have a hope, they have hey, if we make enough money, we'll be able, hopefully, to make this money last, but there's no plan. And so we build comprehensive income plan that we know this is how we're exactly going to pay your bills in retirement, and more so because, look, retiring isn't about, well, I've got enough to survive. It's about enjoying life. You didn't work 30, 40 years of your life to get by in retirement. You did it to enjoy the things that you've always wanted to do. And so we're going to build a second component that covers that quality of life that every month, every year, regardless of what's happening with the market, regardless of what's happening in your life, this money's coming in like clockwork. And you never have to worry about it. You never have to stress about it. You're going to be able to keep the lights on and enjoy the kind of lifestyle that you're looking for.
The name of the show is North Georgia's Retirement Game Plan. And Evan, you say it all the time on the show, a play is not a plan. You've got to have that comprehensive game plan when it comes to your retirement.
You've got to. It's the only way to, one, make sure it's going to work, and two, make sure it's going to work efficiently.
If you'd like to schedule that complimentary retirement income review, call Evan Ward and his team with Atlas Retirement. That number is 678-736-7799. Again, it's 678-736-7799. Or you can always reach them at the website. It's atlasretirement.net. That's atlasretirement.net. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Look out, here we go. Little Richard, banging on that piano, in 1956 recorded Good Golly Miss Molly in New Orleans. Little Richard first heard that phrase, Good Golly Miss Molly, from a Southern DJ named Jimmy Pennick. So Little Richard modified the lyrics into the more suggestive, Good Golly Miss Molly, you sure like the ball. Little Richard, who said he became religious after he made a deal with God when he almost died in a plane crash, and then became a Christian, and then went back to rock and roll. So that's all good. Let's see. Birthdays include the late Karen Carpenter's brother, Richard Carpenter, 79 years old. Jerry Burns, comedian from Good Morning Miami and Dear John Montgomery. Jerry Burns is 71 years old today. And on this, hold on a second. I think
he was on Justified, too. He was good in that.
Oh, I'd forgotten that. Yeah, I'd forgotten that. Yeah, that was a good series. That really was.
Great series.
Yeah, that was really a good series. And on this day in history, 1951, it was a really strange story and a trendsetter in broadcasting. This was early days of TV. 1951, the I Love Lucy debuts on CBS. Lucille Ball. When she was offered the show, she said, I insist that my real-life Cuban husband, Desi Arnaz, play the part of my husband on TV. The TV executive said, we don't want to do that because audiences aren't going to believe that a beautiful, red-haired, white American girl was married to a Cuban guy. So Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz started doing a vaudeville act together. It was a hit, and they were given the TV show. Now, at the time, 1951, most of the TV shows were broadcast live in New York, or in the New York markets, and the rest of the country would see the video later from low-quality kinescopes. Desi Arnaz wanted to film the shows live and then broadcast the higher-quality films later. The studio balked because they said it's going to cost way too much. So Desi Arnaz, in 1951, said, I'll tell you what, I'll cover the cost of having the better quality film. In return, you give me the rights to broadcast the films. That was considered one of the shrewdest deals in television, as Desi Arnaz reaped huge profits from the rights for the reruns. And that's pretty much where it started in 1951. The show may not have aired at all. Philip Morris came to the rescue as a last-minute show sponsor, and part of the agreement was to work in the act of smoking and the name Philip Morris in the scripts for the I Love Lucy show starting in 1951. And they all used to do stuff, and they all smoked, too. Anyway, 5:55 already. Holy cow. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Are we going to do this here at all? Do we know about this? Yes or no? I'm sorry, discombobulated. I'm doing a terrible show today because my whole day was messed up because I went deaf. But it's better now. Anyway, we got memes and liners and Pete's tweets.
All right. Illinois Interim Governor J.D. Pritzker tweets, Pete Hegseth was busy ignoring his job and doing push-ups as part of a show for the Guinness Book of World Records.
Please.
To which Secretary of War Hegseth tweeted back, Governor, you might try a push-up or two. In the meantime, our troops will do the job you refuse to do. Mike the engineer found that for the first time in 10 years, despite Al Gore and Leo DiCaprio and Bill Nye the non-science guy and all the climate change alarmists caterwauling, no hurricane landed on the shores of America, which proves President Donald Trump has completely secured our border. Columbus Day was Monday or Indigenous People Day, depending on which side you lean. Elizabeth Warren tweeted, for 2 excruciating years, I have called for the return of the hostages brutally kidnapped on October 7th and held in Gaza. To which Vice President J.D. Vance responded, the president told me he did this on Indigenous Peoples Day in honor of you.
Yeah, she tweeted, and nothing happened. I'll be darned.
And Halloween is around the corner. I'm sure you've already got your costume already.
I have my white pumpkin ready to go, and I've got my costume thinking about it. It's going to be Asian cheerleader night, so it could be interesting. But anyway, go ahead.
You know, if you put stitches on the side of that white pumpkin, it looks like a big baseball.
Well, there you are. I should do that.
Here's a helpful hint for a costume.
Yeah.
All you need for a Winnie the Pooh costume.
All right, sir.
Is a red T-shirt and courage.
That's a good point. You walk around with that.
He's Porky Pigging it.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. And as Babylon B said, exhausted government employees are hoping to go back to work soon so they can finally get some rest.
Seriously. They're getting paid for not working right now. When they get, they'll be paid for not working.
Yeah, they all get their money. And by the way, Donald Trump came through and again, one of the things when he went live yesterday, we missed part of it live because we weren't on the air yet, but he had said, I've got a really rich buddy, a real friend, and he said he's going to pay for military people to get their money. So the members of the military, even though they're all going to get paid eventually, but so they don't miss their rents and everything else, they have to, well, most of them don't pay rent if they're on federal housing. But anyway, he said that he's got somebody to pay it, which I thought was cool. And one more Babylon B. Democrats are demanding that Donald Trump stop fanning the flames of peace. So that's, anyway. 5:57 with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And tomorrow we have Shannon Burke joining us. Shannon Burke at 5 o'clock tomorrow, right?
That's right.
Excellent. And then Friday, I think we still have Neil Bortz. I don't know where he is, traveling around the country at 4 o'clock on Friday. So we got the rest of the week planned out. It's 5:58, almost. Oh, the little Flounder's funny here. One more shot.
That's why I get nervous as I get older, because I am already not smart, and I'm in my prime right now. I don't read any books. I don't do it, and I think that matters. I do think that matters. Reading, I believe, is the key to smart. That's what I've always said. And I don't do it because every book is just the most words. It doesn't let up. I mean, every page is more word. It's like, what are you talking about there? Put some blank pages in there. Let me get my head above water for 2 seconds. I did. Thank you. It's been a meeting joke. I want to learn more about history because I don't know anything, and so I'm trying to figure it out. I can tell I don't know anything about history because every history movie I watch on the edge of my seat. What is going to happen? I don't know. I watched the movie Pearl Harbor, and I was as surprised as they were.
Nate Bargatze. What a talent. Oh, good grief. Boys, tomorrow we do it all over again. God bless America. Hoorah, Semper Fi. Christine, sing me home, baby. I gotta go. You're killing me.
Foam.
The Kimmer Show is live on your ride home on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 1063.